What's up? Hold on. Let me comments. I'm gonna let everyone in. Just give me a second. Okay.
Yo. What's up?
What up?
Yeah. What's up, everybody? How y'all's doing?
Yo, what's up, everybody? OG coming through. OG coming through.
What's up, Hubcat?
What's up, dude?
What's up?
How you guys doing?
Doing pretty good. How about you?
I'm pretty good. I've been playing a lot of Metal Gear Solid recently.
Wait, that came out, right?
Yeah. Hubcat, do you got like the master collection or not really, bro?
Yeah, I got it. It's pretty good.
Oh,
I like it.
I can't say anything.
What's up, Christian?
Doing great.
What's up, Christian? Good.
The only thing I don't like about the Master Collection is the fact that they did MGS1 kind of dirty. For instance, there's no like. This is my only two complaints about the game. The game is in 240p, and they've blown it up to 1080p, so it kind of looks a little rough.
Mm-hmm.
And they should have added like a new option. Like, do you want classic resolution, or do you want the modern resolution? And then the modern resolution will be just basically be the DuckStation version, where it's like 4K, widescreen, and that's really it. That's what they should have done. The worst anime series of all time.
What worst anime series?
My Hero.
Wait, what's the worst anime series?
My Hero.
Academia.
Oh. Yeah.
For my opinion, I know everybody gonna disagree with me, but it's okay. Black Clover, aka Shit Clover.
But I was holding the original manga.
Oh, Black Clover?
No,
So you have the manga of Black Clover?
Shit Clover.
Shit Clover.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So
Black Clover is, I don't know. It's just modern manga and modern day anime. It's like
all right, Jen Patch in the building. What's up?
Yo,
what's good, guys?
Yes.
Let's fucking go.
Pull me into the building.
So what are we talking about? What's the discussion like right now?
I actually came up with a discussion for Revenant, and I kind of wanted to start off the podcast here. What do you guys think about Yakuza 8 releasing? So Yakuza Gaiden is coming out, and Yakuza 8 is coming out. So Yakuza Gaiden, they have no physical copies. The only way to get a physical copy is to import it from Japan, and it's all digital after that. And then you have Yakuza 8, where it's physical, but only for PlayStation. Only for PlayStation 5, according to what we know. Only for PS5. No, nothing else. Everything else is digital. And
isn't it also coming to PS4 and Xbox?
Yeah, but I think it's not even going to be physical for those consoles.
Well, I think because the way I look at it, like I just look at it as a business move from Japan to save money, because Sony has a better relationship with like the Japanese market, and with not Yakuza 8, what's the other one? Yakuza Gaiden. Maybe they don't want to take the risk of creating physical copies if they're not going to sell well in the States, because that also costs money. So it might just be one of those deals. Also, what's that cracking in the background? Sounds like someone's building a dam. What the hell?
Yeah.
Wait,
Can I
Warcraft.
say something?
Yeah.
Yeah,
By
go
the
ahead.
way, even though what is it? I was going from the West, trying their best to damage, the Eastern Sony reputation. But personally, Sony from the East need to like contact maybe the West. They need to like get things together and start doing this dumb shit.
I just,
Yo, Neozoic, what's up? Thanks for tuning in.
I just think
Appreciate you.
it's like I just think it's like
Yeah,
in
because,
my honest opinion,
you know,
I just think it's stupid. Like, like they didn't lose any money with Ishin. They didn't lose any money with Yakuza 7. They actually outsold a lot of their previous products, including Ishin. Ishin in America, including the physical version, outsold literally every single Yakuza before it. So I don't even know what's going on with that. I
I
really
think they're
don't
just
even
forced
I-
trying to like give people more of an incentive to get the PS5 version.
I really think that's what it is. I agree. Yeah, because
Instead of it just being like only exclusive to like PS5 and Xbox One and PC.
it's just that Sony's their main market. I mean, like their main console market is Sony, and Sony, like I said, relates more to Japan. And I also think that like you look at a game like Yakuza, it might sell more than previous Yakuzas, but again, Yakuza is not. It's popular in the West, but it's definitely not as popular as a lot of other games. So I think it's just
more popular
like
Japan, yeah.
I think it's just like a pseudo financial decision combined with the fact that they have a way better relationship with Sony. I mean, look, I'm not defending it because I think that there should be a physical release in the West. I'm not saying that there shouldn't be, but I could kind of see what the mindset could be to making a move like that.
Hold on.
Yeah, they've been cucking the West for Yakuza for like a long time. Like and it's just like I don't know. I think they're kind of kicking themselves in the ass after that Xbox deal. They had all their games on Game Pass, and no one played them.
Yeah,
Like, people that I know not like didn't even play them. So Xbox people. Oh, by the way, Revenant, you could just copy the link to the stream, and you can just tag everyone in my server. Go ahead and just tell them to join.
I don't know if I can send. I don't know if.
They can. They won't. They won't be able to all join because there's a space limitation. But if anybody specifically wants to come on and talk about the subjects, then they're free to ask for the link. It's just if you give it out to the group, there's definitely not going to be enough space for everybody.
Oh no, not to join. I'm talking about just to watch.
Oh, okay. Oh, the link. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'll do that. Give me a second. So I gotta like try to get in touch with someone on Twitter that said he wanted
PS5
to
doesn't have good sales
join,
in Japan.
so let me get into that.
Yeah, Microsoft doesn't do usually. They're not like really great with like Japan. It's pretty bad over there with them. So I could kind of see why they would do certain things. The physical release, having to import the game. I mean, if you really want to have the physical copy for the collection, I totally get it. And like I said, I'm a person who supports physical releases. But in the end of the day, I feel like in this case, it's not that egregious. Just looking at the whole just looking at the full picture of like their relationship with Microsoft, their relationship with Japan, Sony, total sales, the overall popularity in the West. Because I think even though Yakuza is way more popular now.
Can I say something though? Because even though the one thing about Japan with Sony, Ghost of Tsushima sold very well around the Eastern, but not the
That is true.
Not the West, because probably the West don't like, the amount of escapism. You know how the media is. They just don't care about anything about escapism.
I still remember people were calling that game racist.
No,
everything is racist to everyone these days.
They hate the Eastern, bro. They hate, what is it? The Ghost Tsushima game just because it's following the material of around Sengoku, Japan, and they want to be everything with diversity, bro. That's around history, nation around Japan.
Look, just because history is ugly in some instances doesn't mean that that it should be censored or banned. Especially if you're making a game like Ishin or anything else that's a period piece, you have to take the good with the bad. You know what I'm saying? Like, for example, in Red Dead Redemption 2, they make a very I'm using this as an example because it's also a time period game, where the amount of racism and craziness going around during the Wild West era is like really like underrepresented in the game. And obviously it's because they're afraid to, get the backlash. But realistically, like, cowboys were not necessarily like very what's the word
good,
progressive,
good,
inclusive. So like, I get why they try to specify that Arthur was different, but that's an example of where they're afraid of the history of the thing that they're making, and they definitely take action to underplay it.
No, I can counterpoint that. I can actually counter argue that the reason why Arthur was very different and the reason why the whole gang was actually very different is because Dutch did not believe in racism. Dutch did not believe in racism at all.
But why did Dutch not believe in racism? Because it was written by it's a written story. So even though there's a lore reason, it was a lore reason added for the sake of doing that.
No, Dutch was written back in like
2000. They won.
But it's a fictional. My point is that it's a fictional story. No, anybody can write. Listen to what I'm saying. Anybody can write a story and implement whatever they need to for the sake of the narrative they're trying to present. So in this case, obviously they want their main character to be progressive. So they wrote Dutch to wrote Dutch to teach the cowboys to act like that. To his crew, his gang are written that way because they want the main protagonist of the game to not have those undertones. So that's basically what it is. I mean, I could give an in-story reason for a whole bunch of shit that's justified in games like Spider-Man 2, which we'll talk about later, but it doesn't mean it only exists because a writer wanted to push that narrative, so he subverted it into the story.
Dude,
let me cut you off real quick.
You realize that Dutch was like created back in like 2006, right?
Wait.
Doesn't change anything.
The Master of Gaming, just message me on Twitter because I'm trying to reach you through there, and for whatever reason, I can't post anything or message you. So if you can message me on Twitter and I can respond back, I'll send you the link through there. Anyway, you can keep
Wait, Jinpachi, did you ever beat RDR1?
I beat both. I beat in all three of them. I've beaten Red Dead Revolver, Red Dead Redemption 1, and Red Dead Redemption 2. And I'll also say what's his name? Dutch's characterization is a lot different in RDR2 than it is in RDR1. So even though they had made changes to his character in some ways, some things are consistent. Like, for example, he stood up for like the Native American characters in Red Dead Redemption 1. It doesn't change the fact that the subversion is written into the narrative for the sake of the player character being either morally gray or more quote unquote morally in the right, which is why Dutch's gang just happened to be pretty progressive overall in Red Dead Redemption 2.
Yeah, I wouldn't really say progressive. I mean, they still have prostitutes making money for them. They're still stealing from everyone.
Yeah.
But they're still progressive. They allow intermingling with African Americans. The way the prostitutes are treated in Dutch's gang is very different than the way other prostitutes are treated in that world. They're treated more like family of the crew. Like, there are key decisions made for the sake of somewhat neutering the darker nature of the story. And again, that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I think we have to like really look at the fact that it's a written story with a specific narrative and a specific kind of idea they want to go with the protagonist, which is why all the other characters and the villainous characters tend to portray more of like the uglier side of the West generally.
Yeah.
Well, like I said, Dutch was always like that. He was always had this weird ideals that like everything should be unionized and everything. Even going as far as Red Dead Redemption 1. In Red Dead Redemption 1, his gang that you kill have a lot of African Americans, Mexicans. He literally manipulates everyone. Not just one person of color. He manipulates everybody.
Yeah, but remember, that game was written by a human being. It's not a real life lore. So obviously, even within that game, Dutch has an uglier nature. But remember, Marston was raised by Dutch. So Marston, his morals and his overall character are reflective of Dutch. So obviously, they made Dutch more progressive So that by proxy, Marston seems like an overall more well-rounded and more progressive individual. It's written into the narrative. It's intertwined. It's not like this is like real world lore where things are happening and we're just recording the reaction. And as such, those story beats are written in to characterize Marston, to characterize Dutch, and basically, make your protagonist character non-racist, non-heinous as much as they possibly can.
Like I said, I don't think they were going for social justice or anything like that when they were making Dutch or making any type of character in Red Dead. These are the same people that made Manhunt. I mean, these are the
I have a question. I have a
on E3.
I have a question for you. Do you think that Sadie is non-SJW? You think that character is not SJW and progressive?
No, if anything, those female characters in Red Dead Revolver you can play as. I'm
talking about Red Dead Redemption 2. Do you believe that Sadie is not an SJW character?
No, she has every reason to join the gang. And she has every reason to take revenge on who killed her husband. So
respectfully, I think the subversion that they're going for is going over your head. Honestly, I don't mean that in an insulting way.
Was that she just seemed like important, kind of like all of a sudden towards the latter half of the game, like saving Arthur and all that, and like. Her joining the game makes sense, and obviously being capable and all that. The only thing that kind of seemed a little off to me was how her importance became towards the end of the game. Like all of a sudden, now she's this big major character in the story. When before then she wasn't as important. I'm not saying she wasn't an important character because obviously she was.
True Apollo pirate. True Apollo. Understand.
Outside of the first game,
by gender and skin color.
In Red Dead Redemption 2, outside the first time that you save Sadie, she is a Mary Sue from the moment that she learns how to fire a gun up until the very end of the game.
Everyone knew how to fire a gun though in that time.
I'm not talking about literally knowing how to fire a gun. I'm talking about her overall capability with weapons, and her overall skill level is way higher than it should be. And toward that latter half of the game where she becomes an actual gunslinger, she's basically a Mary Sue. She's totally overpowered in that game.
Oh, that's every Grand Theft Auto character.
And also, just because something's written into a narrative, like I said before, it doesn't mean it's not real life lore. It's written in with a purpose and an intent. And again, we could agree and disagree of whether you want to accept that at face value or not, which is fine, but it doesn't change the fact that the subversion and the narrative is there. And obviously, it's pretty clear that in Red Dead Redemption 1 and 2, they don't want you to play as a racist, violent, womanizing cowboy, so the characters are written to not be that way. But again, we could agree.
They're all based off Clint Eastwood, which is the ideal cowboy.
But again, we could agree to disagree. But in my opinion, it's definitely an interwoven narrative. It's definitely, especially with Red Dead Redemption 2, those segments are very socially conscious and are written as such.
I don't know, dude.
That's my opinion.
The way I got from Arthur and John and even Red from Red Dead Revolver was they're all based off of Clint Eastwood, which was in the 60s. He wasn't a racist. He wasn't he wasn't a womanizer per se. He was just more of this kind of a mature guy that just wants to get his job done. I've seen pretty much all the Clint Eastwood movies before Red Dead Redemption 2 came out. So
okay, but even him being even that
GTA 6 is looking more like a woke game. I will say that.
I think that
I can't send you in yet because it's only limited to 6 people.
I think that it's one of those things though. That is just you can either accept it or not accept it. I mean, we could do mental gymnastics about all kinds of things, especially in Miles Morales, because that's to me, what you're saying, and again, respectfully, I don't mean to sound insulting, but it just sounds like mental gymnastics to defend it because 100%,
true,
100% that game, Red Dead Redemption 2 has some very SJW moments in it. And liking that, I love that game. There's a ton of games that I love, but I accept it for what it is. And, in the end of the day, you're going to have, your viewpoint of what you believe is going on in the game, but I don't take narrative reasons for shit because I know that a lot of writers will subvert anything that they can in order to make their narrative happen in the game. Example being, you see that in movies all the time. You have a Mary Sue character introduced in Avengers Endgame, for example, and Thor is like, oh, I like this one. You know, all the characters are upping Captain Marvel because they are trying to tell the crowd, the people watching, that they should appreciate and like that character, that they should accept her, accept that character.
Fuck Captain Marvel. Even the comics, fuck Captain Marvel.
Yeah, so I guess
I don't blame you. I don't know why they want to add Captain Marvel, bro.
So
Captain America, in my opinion.
Hold on, is Hasib Khan Master Gaming?
Oh, interesting comment. Let's see. Savage the Punisher says Rockstar Games have green lights the woke agenda with that. Sadie was made to be this bad independent woman, and John let his wife run the house.
How's things cracking there, homie? No.
Well, John was always like a bitch character, though. He was always like a bitch, and then in Red Dead Redemption 1, he finally becomes like this badass guy. He was always like that type of character.
Yeah.
God damn it.
I think one thing that was really funny in Red Dead Redemption 2 was that we don't know how John gets his scars, and we think it's like this.
So just give me a second.
We think it's this badass reason, and then you find out he just got attacked by wolves and was running for his life the whole time.
That shit was funny. Yeah, then Arthur pokes fun at that.
Yeah. So I just here's the weird thing that I want to make very clear, right? Like, all right, I'll put it this way. A woman could be physically attractive, but still be overall a shitty person, right? So I can criticize her being shitty and still say, all right, but at least she is physically attractive. A game could have great gameplay, but have an incredibly woke narrative, but the gameplay could be decent. You know, both things could be true, and I try to separate like what I'm really looking at versus my enjoyment of like the gameplay or something of that nature. Does that make sense? So, for example, like, I liked Spider-Man 1, the game, you know, Spider-Man PS4, the first game. I enjoyed it, but there were but I like the gameplay, but narratively, there were some incredibly egregious narrative moments, specifically with Mary Jane. I think we actually talked about this in a Discord chat one time, right? I don't know if I mentioned this before, but
the first one?
Yeah, I think we might have talked about it, but you know, Mary Jane making dumb decisions. You're playing as this Mary Sue SJW character, and that's a blight on an otherwise like pretty good game. So I think like being an honest, balanced person means accepting the bullshit and admitting the bullshit, but also accepting when something is genuinely good and saying that, okay, this thing is good and I'm being truly objective. Get what I'm getting at? So that's my stake in when I talk about these things.
I have a question for everybody in here, including chat. Who the fuck liked the Mary Jane parts?
I don't think
no one
not me.
Not
me. Even worse, who liked the Miles parts in the first game?
Oh my god.
They were somehow worse.
But I would say this
Spider-Man Miles, dude. Fuck that.
Well, I can't wait till we talk about Spider-Man 2 because I found that shit. I found that game hilarious. I found it hilarious.
How the hell they allow this woman Sonya to insert herself in the game, but not the original cast? Ridiculous.
Wait. Can we talk about that? Can we just talk about that, please? If it's okay.
You know what?
Self-insert.
Listen. I went through a whole thing on that cesspool X. This is why I don't use Twitter or X like that, because it's totally a cesspool, but I've gotten into like this long debate about it, and I've come to the conclusion that people will do anything to defend shit that they like. They will say anything. Like if even
it hurts their feelings.
If it hurts their feelings that you criticize something they like, and they will say anything, and I mean anything, to defend them. Yeah,
like Dragon Ball Daima and GTA 6 and those clickbaiters. They are obsessed Rockstar. Even though me and Reverend discuss it about these type of things,
I'm calling it now.
Can't leave Rockstar alone. They are obsessing with the GTA 6.
Dude, and they made Black Cat into a fucking lesbian.
Listen. Listen,
All of a sudden,
women could be attractive in Insomniac games as long as they're gay or bi. Then it's okay. As long as men can't, and as long as men can't have them, then we're all good. They can be attractive.
She was never like that though. She was
I know.
never ever like
that's
that.
what it's
I
about.
agree.
Because
James
everyone's
is
like,
a
this never
horrible
happened
experiment.
before, and now all of a sudden she's lesbian.
She
Yeah.
became a fighter. What?
All it is, the push a
She
narrative
became
that
a
they believe
fighter?
in, and that they want people to believe
Yeah.
in. It's like with the Mary Jane part, where like I
Mhm.
think there was an actual quote where they think what they said, like "shut the fuck up" or something like that.
Yeah, they said shut the
Too
fuck
bad
up.
or something.
I don't care if she's
Or whatever.
overpowered. Too bad.
Yeah, like
I'm
she's
like,
supposed
what?
to be like a hero, like everyone else. Like, how is that even possible? First of all, she's not a hero. That's the point of Spider-Man, and that's why he saves other people, such as Mary Jane. She's
Well,
not
I think-
a hero.
Yeah.
Footing as
Mary
Spider-Man or
Jane
anyone else.
in the late 2000, in the early 2000s, she was not like that fighting. She always
Well-
run away from villains, bro.
Mary Jane was a model in the comics, and we all know she's far from that now. But I mean, I think we can all agree that a character being on the alignment of good doesn't mean they have to be a fighter or a direct combatant type hero. They can work at perfectly fine as a support character as well. I don't understand. Like, there's this mindset amongst like SJW gaming companies where they feel like, you have a female character that's good, aligned as good, she has to be totally capable, totally self-reliant, can't ever be saved, can't in any way be seen as
Patriot.
yeah, like she can't do anything that makes her seem like she needs help. You know, so I don't really understand that mindset, and I honestly think that it's really immature from developers.
Then like on top of that, it's like Mary Jane in the PS4 game. I was just like
Yeah.
Mary Jane in the PS4.
Apparently, yeah.
Even the first one.
It's made by frogs, bro. And
Wait,
made
hold on. Wait,
It's
hold on.
it's made by the Alex Jones gay frogs.
by everything. But can I say something, guys? When the next Ghost of Tsushima 2 came out, just to let you know, we have those type of people that claim that they love the original Ghost of Tsushima, but no, they're gonna like slapping the diversity around the history
I
around
want to get to that.
samurai culture.
Well, they're doing the Assassin's Creed thing, and they're like, allegedly, it's rumored that we're gonna be playing as a black assassin in Japan. I'm like, wow, so you finally put a game in. You finally put a game.
They're not gonna do that.
I heard the rumor. I heard the. I won't say they. I can't say they're not gonna do it.
Because in Mirage,
I can't say they're not gonna do
they're
it.
in the Middle East and Baghdad, but then there's
I can't wait how Japan can rock those companies based because
Okay, hold on.
Hold on, one person talk at a time. Everyone take turns talking, one at a time.
Let me just say something about that because I have more. I actually know a lot about this shit, like samurai shit and everything. There's no way they have to travel. There's no way they're going to like skip like 700 years into the future, like because Ghost of Tsushima takes place in the 1270s. There's no way they're gonna go straight to that. I forgot his fucking name, but he was one of the greatest warriors in Japan. Where he was actually from. Was he from Africa? I forgot where he was from, but he was a black dude that actually became an actual samurai. There's no way they're gonna fucking go all the way to that point.
Yeah,
well, hold on. Let me stop you right there because I'm not talking about Ghost of Tsushima. I'm talking about Assassin's Creed. The next Assassin's Creed allegedly is supposed to be in Japan, and we're gonna be allegedly they're gonna bring that character. I forgot the samurai's name as well. I'm very familiar with it as well. I think that might be it.
Can I say something?
And I really don't think that I think that's highly disrespectful to the Japanese, community because you finally make a game in there and you're gonna have this guy. You're gonna be playing as an African American in freaking feudal Japan just because it happened once in history, and we all know it's for diversity points. I would be highly offended
because hold on, that is disrespectful. Don't make the character play as Yosuke, because Yosuke never snuck around. He never stabbed people in the back. He never was a shinobi or a ninja.
It's a samurai.
What you could do is you could play as a female or a male Japanese character who turned into a shinobi.
Which I like. So
Hold on.
Mm-hmm.
You can play as these characters as a Japanese person, and Yosuke could be part of the story, like kind of like how Leonardo da Vinci was in Assassin's Creed 2.
I see. While I I do agree with that. But I also think that if they did add him, even as a side character, and he wasn't the main role, I think we would get some highly cringe scenes involving a character. And we're I think regardless, we're gonna have some like highly like virtual signally like bullshit woke ass writing involving that character, even if he's a side character.
Yeah,
but before we continue, well, all right, Reborn, make your point, and then I want to say something to Revenant actually.
Because what's the point like dragging, even though I know where they're going, what's the point dragging our race to very, very long time history that we have to be stuck around there as a black culture and put it on in the next future, skipping it and think it's a great thing. No, bro, it ain't a great thing. And if not go that route, even majority of myself as a black man and also many of the black community will not like these type of route where Ubisoft go. And even though when it's sucker punch when I put diversity in, still majority black will not like it. And it's disrespect to the Japanese people, the Eastern people culture. And,
I think so.
Yeah, and
I agree.
And the
Hopefully,
fact
like, the
media will think it's okay to have themselves laughing and say, "Yeah, where'd he go, sucker punch? Great diversity, we love it."
Well, Revenant, you have a list of the topics. So as soon I'm gonna just say this last thing, and we'll start going through the topics one by one. But I want to say this specific thing. The saddest part about all of this, the saddest part about the modern like ESG and like ESG pushed agenda going on right now is that they have no faith in any characters that are not tied to a specific property or a specific already existing piece of entertainment, because there are so many heroic African warriors in history, and it would be so interesting to play as like an African tribal warrior in Africa during a relevant era. Would be so much more of like a true I guess I would say not depiction, like a true what's the word? Like it will be true representation. It will be so much more of like a better representation because you're getting an African story taking place in Africa, playing as iconic African legends or warriors. And I just think that would be a way better way to go about it as opposed to making Spider-Man black or making Iron Man a black girl or something like that. And it shows me that those companies have zero faith in original characters and they don't respect or care about actual African and black culture. And I think that's the saddest part about all of it is that they virtue signal, but they're telling us what they really think. They're telling us that we can have hand-me-downs because they don't really care about the history of like of these cultures.
Savage, sorry, come on, Savage Punisher. This whole diversity thing was just an ESG publicity stunt to push Ubisoft, Rockstar Games, and many other Western developers are part of it. And Sadie actor is one of them. Yes, Savage. That's an honest point.
Give me 1 second because I want to read something. Neozoic said, Revenant and the crew. Question: how would you improve, fix, remove, or change Marvel Spider-Man 2 if you were the head writer, creative, etc.? We're gonna answer that question. We'll answer. We'll all take turns answering that question, but let us wait until we reach that point in the podcast. But we're gonna definitely answer that question.
I would love that shit. I'm a huge Spider-Man nut, man.
Same here.
Shit.
Yeah.
Same here.
You're gonna love that shit. Okay, I'll give you a teaser. I'm gonna give you a teaser. You want to know how I?
Wait. Hold on. Let's save it. Let's save it because we're gonna get. Well, I feel like once we hit the Spider-Man subject, we're gonna go all in because there's a ton to talk about. So let's really save it for then, and we can like go all out. So Revenant, what's the first subject on the list? Let's actually try to get through to the topics.
Yeah. We were chit-chatting for a while. But,
okay, so what were we talking about? We talked about Yakuza.
Hold on. One of the topics is wrestling related. I know. He's gone. Fuck. Y2 Viral. I know he's into wrestling, so I figured we can just jump into the TNA topic. But I don't know if anyone's really like wrestling fans like that.
So we can briefly go over it.
You can save that like toward at the end, like the end. So we can skip that for now. You know what?
Well, I mean, putting. Yeah. I mean, I could give you my short answer now. I could give you my quick short answer. If if we're the only two people that right now that are actual wrestling fans, then I'm gonna just say that I think that the branding, while it is good that they're going back to their iconic brand, TNA as opposed to Impact, I still think it's kind of largely irrelevant until they can prove that they're going to actually do something different. So I wouldn't be too excited about it until I see what they actually do with the former branding returning.
My opinion about the wrestling
supposed to be like changing a lot of shit so it looks better. You know, like have a very like somewhat like a nostalgic feel to it, but also seem like new. So
I just hope they can fill out the crowd.
Like like better arenas and all that.
So for the sake of anyone who's watching this, because I feel like if it's only going to be us two talking about this right now, just it's better to briefly go over it. But for the sake of those watching, Impact Wrestling was a small company that was a rival to, not really a rival, but an alternative to WWE. Yeah, and it used to be called TNA Impact, and actually had TNA Wrestling. It had a large amounts of like lore and history behind it that was squandered over the past, I would say, 10 years. Do a lot of bad business dealings. So now they're called Impact Wrestling, but they're rebranding back into TNA. So, you know, they're trying to build up hype, like they're going to return to form, kind of like with Assassin's Creed Mirage, where they said we're returning to its roots. But just like Assassin's Creed Mirage, that might turn out to be bullshit. So we gotta wait and see. That's my philosophy.
Sometime in January.
They abandoned its own formula, the Assassin's Creed 2 and Unity formula. And even though majority of Assassin's Creed fans like Assassin's Creed Unity park hour system, and even from the Edge of Trinity 2, that was the best park hour system. And also the combats. Even like in my opinion, I know Assassin's Creed Unity got most bugs, but the park hour was great and the combat was kind of flowing at the same time.
As far as I know, there's only 3 good Assassin's Creed games: Assassin's Creed 2, and Unity. And Unity, we're talking about after bugs. Everything else, I'm sorry, I know I'll get flack for this. But when I say Assassin's Creed 2, let's think Ezio. Let's just bulk that as Assassin's Creed 2. Yeah, everything after that, besides Unity, is dog shit. It's just dog shit.
Oh, that's true, bro. It's still good.
4 has some long ass, boring ass, padded out bullshit parts.
The media went say, "Yay! Assassin's Creed 4 one of the best-selling games for fans."
Don't get me wrong. There was some cool shit. Like I liked shooting multiple guns and stuff. I thought there was some cool moments. But if we're looking at the total game, it's pretty ass. But there were some good things they added. I'll give you credit. There was some cool shit in there. But mostly it was like 60% ass and 40% like non-ass.
Okay, I'm gonna I want to think about the wrestling thing. I want to think about the wrestling thing, and I want this to happen, guys. I want Ric Flair to fuck Stone Cold Steve Austin on the fucking ring. I want it. Let's have it oiled up. We gotta have it, man. We really gotta have it. In my head. We gotta have it, and when he comes, he has to go woo. We gotta.
Listen, Ric Flair will take you to Space Mountain because you just can't keep those gators down, baby. Woo!
We gotta do it, man. We gotta do it. Ric Flair, fuck Steve.
So Ultra Unique has a comment. I haven't watched wrestling in over 13 years. I stopped when they were forcing overrated Cena down everyone's throats. I agree. I don't think you're wrong. Super Cena was pretty rough to deal with during that era. And I also want to say that like I casually watch wrestling now, as I'm nowhere near the hardcore fan I once was because the overall decline of the quality of the product. So even though like
Y2 Viral, write in the chat if you have something to say about the TNA shit, and I'll try to get you in. I'll have to take someone off and then I'll have to bring someone back in. If so, we can just like move on to the next topic.
So I'm just gonna end it with this. What I was saying that even though I still watch, like I said, somewhat casually, wrestling has greatly declined, and I feel like I can't I don't take it. I'm nowhere near as hype as I used to be at all.
Yeah, but also Genpachi, I know you're not gonna be happy with me. The YouTube is taking over the wrestling.
I agree. It's true. I don't blame you. I liked it. I liked wrestling a lot, but it's become watered down. It's so watered down. It's like, you know how you could play a game and it's a bloated world full of nothing. It's just like a empty, desolate wasteland of a world, and they say that the world's bigger than ever before, but there's no content. That's how WWE feels for me right now. It's like I watch it and it's a lot of fluff, light shows, a lot of flash, but there's like
Metal Gear 5.
Basically,
Pretty
and
much,
almost no substance. So when I watch it, I can casually watch it, but like for me to give a shit and actually like care about a pay-per-view is like very unlikely. And Revenant and me, we talk about it a lot. Sometimes we'll watch like the pay-per-views or whatever. So that being said, like a lot of times I almost feel like he's convincing me to give a shit. Sometimes, like
I'll show you. Like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, he sucks.
half the time we're watching, I'm telling him how someone's ass and should be released from their contract, and he's basically saying, no, they're not that. That's like, he'll be like saying, no, they're not that bad. I'm like, no, they gotta release him. This guy's trash. Like, that's basically like 2 hours of that almost every time. So
I would watch, like, here's the thing, I would watch wrestling, but I do not want to turn gay. I do not want to turn gay or bisexual. If I want, if I wanted to watch real wrestling, I'll just put on gay Pornhub.
oh my god.
Ain't that gay.
That's not very politically correct. It's just Pornhub, not gay Pornhub.
I mean, they're both oily guys on top of each other.
Reborn, I'm gonna let Y2 Viral in real quick, and I'm gonna see if he has something to say about the TNA thing.
Okay.
And then so I'm gonna try to rotate it around because I can only fit 6 people in. So
Okay.
All right. Anyways,
While you bring him in, let me just read this comment. Revenant, Remnant, and the crew. Also, TNA is lacking any guys like AJ Styles, Kurt Angles, and Sting, etc. Yeah, I agree.
Revenant. By the way,
I can bring you in. Just message me
can
if you want to come back in.
Yeah. I'll come back in maybe later, or if not, might be resting.
Okay, so just message me when, and I'll try to get you back in.
Okay.
Yeah. Once we get past the subject, you can join back in. It's no big deal.
So it's nice to like let me on earlier. And
Yeah.
also, anyway, guys, you carry on, keep it going to the live stream, bro. It's great.
Thank you
Thank you
very much, man.
Thanks.
Thank you so much. You've been really good. You've been really good in this chat, man. Thanks.
Yeah, no worries. I'll see you around. Make sure you subscribe to my channel.
Thank you.
Yeah.
I will, man. Thanks.
Yep.
Peace.
Peace. Let me get this guy in.
Man, fuck that guy. I'm just joking. I'm joking. I'm playing around. But I want to hold on. There was a comment that actually like, hold on, let me scroll. Right here, Savage Punisher. Ubisoft seems to take more time with developing games and hire a proper writer that knows the history of time periods. But we'll never get that because they need that ESG scores. There's another thing that Ubisoft needs. Because I play a lot of Ubisoft games because I have PlayStation Plus and I can play the games for free and stuff. There's a lot of things they need to have. How about dropping that outdated fucking engine they have where the whole world... Do you guys get this effect too after Assassin's Creed Unity? Like, they'll have a beautiful looking open world like Assassin's Creed Origins, right? But as soon as you get up to a person or talk to a person, all the immersion is out of the fucking window because how bad and how flat everything looks.
Before I address that, Savage, you're right. Yeah, they would all be jobbers. They would all be released. They would all be jobbing out. But yeah. So with Ubisoft, he said CM Punk, the All Elite guys, and all like those guys will all be jobbers, and I 100% agree. They're vanilla midget fry cooks,
pretty much.
To what
What up, Y2?
Hubcap was saying that
Y2 Viral, you got anything to say about TNA?
Oh yeah, for sure.
Is mic on? Let me see. Oh, damn it. Okay. Hold on, to get that. Who's that? Oh, okay. Hold on.
Yeah, no, Paulo. I'm sorry, but the engine they use is so outdated. It's so bad. The
It's
animations
not.
look horrible.
It's not only that. It's there's a deeper issue too. I think that I don't like their I don't like their UI, like their not even their UI, like their presentation with certain things. Like I hate the fucking outline over the characters, that glowing outline. I hate it so much. It looks so bad. It's so immersion breaking, and especially when you're talking to a character in a cutscene and the glow remains on them. I don't know if sometimes it seems like a glitch and other times it seems intentional, and you'll have this glow radiating from a character while they're
I
talking
know what
to
you're
you
talking about.
in
Yeah,
an
no, I
important
know what you're talking
cutscene.
about.
And that's also the targeting indicator, and it just looks so bad. It looks terrible. I don't know why it's lasted so long within the series.
Hey, I have constructive criticism for Ubisoft. If Beyond Good and Evil 2 is a prequel, why not call it Beyond Good and Evil 0?
That's a pretty cool idea
Or
for a
they could do
prequel.
something like Red Dead, where it's like they could do something like Red Dead, like have 2 Roman numeral 2s, but make it
Yeah,
form
no,
into a
that's a good idea.
0. Make it form
It being
into a 0.
0?
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be kind of cool. Maybe they could make the Omega sign the 0. You know, the
Well, that
Omega
game's been in
Greek.
development hell for like years now, right?
Yeah, it's 2014.
Jesus.
I honestly, that's another one I have no faith in at all. But I hope it's
Wasn't it like
good.
an online game, something like that?
No, it's gonna be a
A lot of
single
people
player
pissed off
game.
by it.
It's gonna be a single player game.
Yeah. But you know, if they call it Beyond Good and Evil 0, they can make the, like I said, the Greek Omega symbol as the 0 or something like that.
They
Like kind
won't
of
do
like
that. Come on,
kind
this is out of their Ubisoft we're talking about. They have no brains over there. They're French people. They can't make games.
I agree.
Listen, I don't even think they fully play the games that they make, which would explain the bugs. So I wouldn't be
They
surprised.
don't. They don't.
They
Dude, the
don't.
fucking AK, the fucking M14. Did you not play Far Cry 6? The M14 is still left-handed on a right-handed character.
Jeez,
Like
Jesus.
a lot
I
of the
mean,
guns in the game, they still have the bolt on the left side of the gun.
they don't
Come on.
even like, but like that's kind of true of a lot of games too, where they have like the shittiest like understanding of guns and how they actually operate. Like there's so many bad examples of like you're shooting like double barrel shotguns and the shells never eject and shit like that. And I'm like, it's kind of crazy how in 2023 we have so many inauthentic gun mechanics and gun animations in modern gaming. You know, it's pretty crazy too. So I'm not. When you say that, I'm not surprised. Like that's not just a them issue. That's an issue in general.
Like, look, Ubisoft, not hard. You guys see my camera? Not hard. Look, this is how a Beretta works. You pop the slide back, put the magazine in, use this button, bam. You don't in Far Cry 6, it's like no one uses a Beretta like that, dude. No one. I don't know anyone that talks a Beretta just like that, dude.
Well, they
Stupid.
seen it in a movie, so they'll put it in the game. Because God forbid they do any research.
Stupid.
But another example is like when has a Mac 10 or Mac 11 had an appropriate firing rate in a game? I've never played a game where it actually has the correct rate of fire.
Maybe Black Ops 1.
Not even. No game I've played, 0, that have a Mac 10 or a Mac 11 have an appropriate appropriate FPS for the weapon.
Or as Strong Bed would say, Black Ops, Brown Ops,
Brown Ops.
Beige Ops.
I actually did fuck with the Mac 10 in Cold War. I thought that was a really fun gun to use, run around with that thing.
And it's a good weapon. Like in the game, it functions well, but it's not about the function. It's just like when you know what it's supposed to do and sound like, and how it's supposed to shoot, and the games just don't do it. It's like super frustrating.
That's a
Like
crazy and fast
those-
insane fire
those-
rate, yeah.
Those things are monsters. They're absolute monster weapons, and like that's never like appropriately done, which is crazy. Actually, you know what movie got it right was Taken. Remember the first Taken movie?
Yeah,
Oh,
Taken
yeah.
and
Yeah.
and Lethal Weapon.
Yeah, and they had the Mac
Yeah.
10s. I was like, all right, that is how a Mac 10 is supposed to fire. And I'm like, all right, cool. Somebody did it right.
And Lethal Weapon. I forgot which one, but he had like the cop killer bullets, they called it. And that they actually did the He actually did the Mac 10 some justice.
I
but,
thought it was a missed opportunity for Marvel Spider-Man 2 for a Spider Cop outfit. That would have been hilarious.
That would have been
Yeah.
epic.
They should have done that.
But it's Insomniac, so you know how they feel about cops. Insomniac
I
games.
forgot who had wrote the comment. This is like a while ago. They had told me that one of the developers at Insomniac doesn't like cops. He's like very outspoken about it. And I don't know if it's true or not. Hubcap, maybe you like seen it in the game, but
he doesn't talk to cops at all.
Yeah, they removed all the shit about the cops.
He does not talk about. He doesn't make any, like, for instance, when you do a crime, when you save a crime in Spider-Man 1, in the PS5 version, in both the PS4 and PS5 version, and the basically all versions of Spider-Man 1, if you save a crime, if you resolve a crime,
stop the crime,
yeah, there would be cops that come there, and then like Spider-Man will say, "Oh, the boys in blue are here," and sometimes they'll actually assist Spider-Man. They'll say like, "Oh, Spider-Man, I'm glad you're here." But now,
don't they like straight up shoot the criminals too? Sometimes, like they'll straight up shoot at them. Yeah,
they'll actually help you. And then for Spider-Man 2, we were having all these theories like, "Oh, what if like a cop and a Spider-Man actually do like a tag team move?" That would be
kind of cool. That would be really cool, actually.
But
honestly,
you don't interact with any cops. The cops never show up, and nothing happens. Nothing happens.
Yeah, I think that's an example of what we were talking about before, where like a dickhead developer would create like subvert some subliminal like things going on, right? Because it's like he hates cops, so now Spider-Man doesn't associate with the cops anymore in the game. Like that's a great example of like subliminal SJW shit in the game that you can't on the surface look at and be like, oh well, maybe this, maybe that, but then ultimately it's because one of the developers is a little female dog, if you know what I'm trying to say, and they're trying to push whatever they're trying to do there. So it's kind of messed up.
That's them inserting their thoughts and beliefs into something that
exactly, and by doing so, adding political propaganda to the game.
Okay,
isn't Miles Morales' dad a cop?
Yeah, exactly. Miles Morales, his dad was a cop. He doesn't want to interact with cops.
Is Y2 Viral here?
Yeah, he's right there.
Do you still want to give your comments about the wrestling subject, because I know like that's what you know, just before we move on.
Give you a chance to give your thoughts on that before we move on. Might be having like Wi-Fi issues or something.
Oh, he's having Wi-Fi issues.
Yeah.
Which one is the other one? The
That's familiar.
That's not Mario, right?
That's not what's the other one?
Yoshi.
The Price is Right.
Oh,
no,
yeah,
that's
The Price is Right.
Oh,
is it?
It's like that.
Oh, that's the other one. Well, come on down.
Yeah. Y2 Viral, come on down. What do you got to say?
Well, come on down.
But after he's done, you guys want to give my you guys want to hear, if it's okay, you guys want to hear how I would make Spider-Man 2? Because I didn't beat the game yet, but
damn, because you know what? There are a lot of things we were gonna talk about that are 100% spoilers, and you haven't beaten the game yet.
Unless you don't care.
You don't care.
I mean, I've seen some shit. I seen like Venom's in the game, Carnage is kind of in the game.
But we're gonna talk about specific end game content. So I don't know. It's pretty crucial to what we were gonna talk about here. So I don't know if you care.
Just talk about it, and I'll be like, oh shit, you know what I mean? I didn't know about that. I was like,
so you don't mind? You don't mind?
Yeah, I wouldn't mind. All
right. And everybody watching,
leave, and then you can rejoin. I can message you when we're done if you want me to do that. Otherwise, you're free to stay, and hear about it. But
everybody watching,
I think that would be a good idea.
Yeah, okay. because it's actually crucial to the discussion.
I don't want to spoil it for anyone.
It's up to you. It's up to you. Either way, I just don't want to ruin the game for you. Even though I think it's dog shit, the narrative is dog shit. I don't want to ruin it for you. It's your right to enjoy it.
It's your right to enjoy it, and also like have your own perspective once you experience it yourself.
Yeah. So I don't, whatever. But if you don't care, you can stay. But we're definitely going to talk about it because it's very important to the whole narrative that we're talking about.
Just so far, let me just give my thoughts about it real quick because you guys are gonna move on to the Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let me just give you my thoughts about it and how I would make the game. So far, I just got the black suit. I just unlocked the black suit, and I got the Tobey Maguire black suit on.
Sam Raimi.
Yeah, because who the fuck is not gonna do that? But I want I want to put dirt in people's eye. But fucking
yeah, but I prefer making obscure media inside jokes. Like the thing saying, "I'll show you a rock slide," or Lobo saying, "It just ain't my fragging day."
or you want forgiveness, get religion.
That's not obscure.
It's Sam Raimi, bro. It's the most popular one. It's the most popular.
I'm on the autism spectrum, and I love obscure media. That's all.
But going back to what I was gonna say about Spider-Man, like
what was the other line? Hold on. It was like what? Little Gobby Jr. gonna cry?
You're gonna cry. Little Gobby Jr.
It's just.
Oh man.
Like, and that's the thing. Like, so far, I played the game, and it's like, it's obvious Mary Jane's very distracting, and we may all make jokes about her chin being. I call her because she's a redhead, the Crimson Chin now, or or transgender Jay Leno. But
I call her Rocky Dennis, but
yeah, that's why I said. I mean, all props to the writer. I mean, you have like listen, you work at Insomniac. I don't give a shit. You work at Insomniac. You have over $1,000. Cut that chin off. You're in California. Go to like the local doctor in East LA.
Dude, I got into.
Hook you up. I can hook you up with a doctor in East LA.
You post that picture of real quick. What was it again?
It was a picture of Andy Dick's character from Old School.
yeah, that's what it was.
Hey, yo, listen. Well, I don't know what's her name, but the Twitter person and everything. I thought she was transgender, but
I thought so too.
Right.
Hey, yo, you be here looking like a man. Go to Pasadena, go to Arcadia. Those nice Asian people will get you they'll slim down your chin. They'll make you look like the old Mary Jane. Okay, they'll make you look like an attractive person.
She has a Lego head, man. Her head is like shaped like a Lego. Literally.
So far, I'm just gonna say this right now. That Mary Jane, dude, I will not come on that.
Listen, I'm gonna tell you something interesting. I got into a debate with somebody because they were trying to say, I think Revenant saw that too. He was like, so they're gonna just happen to copy this woman's likeness without her knowing, and she would be upset about it. Whatever. I'm like, you're doing all these mental gymnastics when a developer who's a SJW could literally look to his left, see this woman, and be like, you know what? That's a masculine female. I'm gonna combine that face with the existing face because she damn sure doesn't look like. It makes
no fucking sense. Like
she damn sure doesn't look like the face actress. She looks shit like her. It literally look. I'm a digital artist. I can literally combine their faces, and you would the real actor, the real actress, and the woman on Twitter. If I combine their faces, you get Mary Jane. Literally, like you legit get that Mary Jane.
Like it makes no sense because like. Let's say you're playing the games back to back. It's immersion breaking. Actually, it's like jawing. It's jarring because you play. I hate when games do this in general, not just Spider-Man, where you play the first game or you watch your first movie like Iron Man 1,
and then Rhodey,
and then you go to Iron Man 2, and it's like it's Don Cheadle now.
Yeah,
it's like what? Are we gonna forget? Consistency. That's what I want. Consistency.
Well, with Spider-Man, it's especially egregious because even Peter looks freaking weird. Like honestly, though, like they recast Peter and Bubniak. I don't remember his first name. Bubniak, however you pronounce it. His face and head went better with the Spider-Man body than the new guy does. And I know that Bubniak is not, or Bubniak, however you say it, is not that muscular or shredded, but it does fit. It does fit the model better. And this new Peter has like a weird like little boy head attached to like Spider-Man's body. And it's so fucking weird.
Weird on his neck is like the way his head is connected.
Yeah, that's another thing. It doesn't.
That's what I'm talking about.
Trying to make him, they're trying to defend it and saying, "Oh, it's Yuri Lowenthal." That is not
No, it
Yuri
ain't.
Lawrence.
That's
No,
not
it
him.
ain't
Tom
at
Holland.
all.
In
That's
fact,
some big time
the older
Tom
guy
Holland.
looked more like him than the current guy. But Solo says Spider-Man suit's got some gimmicky boss fights. Yeah, I'm sure. I mean, that Venom fight is like, that is insane. To have a player sit through that is wild. It's good for a second, and then it gets like, it goes on way too long of the same shit.
Oh no,
I
there was
can't.
some gimmicky boss fights even before I got there. Like especially with Craven.
Oh
Craven,
yeah.
they really, dude, they absolutely fucked everything up. And not only that, but they like bombard you even on the higher. I find it spectacular, but
Mhm.
man, they bombard a lot.
As
of
you
people
should.
have
As a man with
range.
testosterone, you should play on Spectacular.
Yeah, dude, they have. I played every Spider-Man game on hard. That's how you should play the games. But
Yeah,
it's like,
exactly.
but man, this is what I did not like about Spider-Man 2. It's like everyone has a gun and they're trying to shoot you, and you're constantly clicking the circle button. You're constantly clicking that circle button. It's like, Jesus Christ, can I get a fucking hit in?
Yeah, and I think also it's worth mentioning that these developers, like, they know, like, it's kind of weird because somebody, I remember, commented on a video that Revenant made, and he said, "Oh, go woke, go broke." He tried to mock him because Spider-Man 2 sold well, and I'm thinking in my head, this is fucking Spider-Man. Unless they make Spider-Man like a crippled like Indonesian monk or something and did something truly extreme, that game was gonna always sell well. You know, you can't judge like something that's, you can't say like, oh, wokeness. See, it's not go woke, go broke if you're having a brand like Spider-Man on it. Like the Batman 2022, like that movie did well despite its many. I'm a huge Batman fan, and I would debate that character with anybody.
Yeah.
But they fucked that character up so badly, and people still praise that movie because it's the Batman brand.
Mhm.
You get what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
you can't say, oh, go woke doesn't mean go broke if you're attaching a brand like Spider-Man behind it, because Spider-Man is literally would have to have multiple fuck ups over the next 10 years to finally not be a draw. So I don't.
Tom Holland, yeah.
So I don't get that mentality. They say, oh, well, this big brand or whatever. All right, how come every other thing that's like mid popularity or average popularity, when they go woke, they go broke? But they'll never talk about those properties. They'll only talk about like, oh, well, Spider-Man and Batman didn't fail. Yeah, they're Spider-Man and Batman. You need like 10 years of them doing this consistently to finally get people to not care. That's what happened with Disney's Marvel. With the Marvel Cinematic Universe, they literally had 10 years almost of constant fuck ups, and now people don't care anymore, right?
Yeah.
So that's basically what it is.
On superhero fatigue or whatever bullshit.
Yeah, exactly. So, and there's a lot of disingenuous actors, man. You have people talking about MK1 or all these games. It's like, I always look at it the same way. You have your right to enjoy shit, but doesn't change the fact that it is shit. And if you and defending those flaws in that thing are not gonna make it better for you as the consumer. So just because you like the brand and you're gonna play it no matter what, you should have some standards, because again, the quality is going to continue to decline. So you might as well act, you could still like it, but give valid criticism, be true to what you think.
At least like be honest about like what they fuck up.
What I really hated about what I just really hate about Spider-Man 2 is like the fact that like the swinging is not that fast too. It's another thing. I'm just like But no, you're right about that. Like the whole wokeness. Like I'm actually, me and my friend Aiden and a couple of other people. Next month is Comic-Con, local Comic-Con in town, and the Miles Morales voice actor, the face model, is going to be there. And I'm gonna get my copy signed, but I am gonna tell them off about Mary Jane. Like I'll record it straight to him. I'll say, hey, look, good game, but those two faces, Mary Jane and Peters, man, get that fucking shit out of here, bro. I'm gonna tell him this face, bro.
Chris Fallen, I just see your comment now. Your mic is louder than everyone else's in the call. Okay, thanks for letting me know. Let me see if I can do something about that. But yeah, how do I sound now? Do I sound decent?
You sound pretty good.
Okay, so yeah, like. These people.
Do you have anything about Spider-Man 2? I think he said he wanted to talk about that. So
is he in the chat?
No, he's in the podcast.
Okay.
He just has his mic. Oh no, his mic's not muted anymore. Okay.
You know how Insomniac made Mary Jane ugly?
Yeah.
I think the reason why they're doing that is because of like the Me Too movement or something. I'm not really sure.
It could be. I think they just want to. So I don't think it's the Me Too movement. I believe it's because they want to change norms when it comes to what's considered attractive. And again, a lot of it is because it's their own insecurities bleeding through, right? So
maybe
it could just
at the studio has something to hide.
Yeah, or they're just projecting their own insecurity, right?
Yeah.
Like you have I don't get it, man. Like, it's kind of funny because a person could say, hey, that guy is muscular and looks super heroic. I'm going to try to be like that. I'm going to try to elevate myself to a higher level. And then you can have somebody else say, that's unrealistic. I like being a piece of shit. They suck because they're not a piece of shit like me. And that's I know it's like a really like brutal way to put it, but that's kind of how I look at it. It's like, instead of making up for my generally like unattractive face by most of society's standards, and by being a better person, being more fun to be around, increasing my personality and controlling what I can control, I'm gonna try to put down things that are attractive and beautiful because it makes me feel bad. That's like what the mentality reads as to me, and I find that really weak. I mean, it's legitimately a pathetic mindset to have,
Yeah, hopefully after Jim Ryan fucking leaves PlayStation, because he is in March, I think. Thank God.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully when Jim Ryan leaves, we just have normalcy in games, because every PlayStation exclusive. This is why I don't like about PlayStation exclusive. I love them. Don't get me wrong. I like Ghost of Tsushima. Not a fan of the new God of War though. They nerfed the combat for noobs. People don't know how to play games.
Hi, Defa Proxy. Thanks for tuning in.
What I just don't like about PlayStation games now, it's like they always gotta have that one gay thing. It's like there's something up their ass, no pun intended, to actually put that in the game. Like I'm just like, why did you have to make Black Cat gay? What's next?
ESG.
Jin's gonna kiss the Shogun instead of assassinating him in fucking Ghost of Tsushima 2?
It's all about ESG.
Wiener says Sigma Cuck Peter apologized his GF an entire game. Yeah, basically. You know what I find super? Let me explain two things, right? Because obviously you guys can hear I have a bit of an accent. I'm Hispanic, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you guys can tell. Whatever, it doesn't matter. But the point is that they push so hard with virtue signaling, right? And then you have Miles Morales, who's half Puerto Rican and half black, have a Cuban. They're so tone deaf that they don't even know the difference between a Cuban and Puerto Rican flag. And this obese egg-shaped man is arguing with me on X saying, "Oh, well, they fixed it. That means it's okay." They could have fixed it through a patch, but it doesn't change the fact that they gave so little of a shit that they got the flags wrong. Yet they want a virtue signal for everybody else,
In my opinion, I think it should have been replaced by a Taco Bell logo, but that's my opinion.
And secondly,
you should have had the dog, the Chihuahua.
And secondly, here's another point about this. They fight so hard for this politically correct agenda. They want to push this modern ideology, but the moment that they know that their game will not sell in Saudi Arabia unless they take it out, they do. So what is more important to these people? Or China. So what's more important? Their money or their agenda? And in the end of the day, since this basically shows that it's about money, we know that the reason why they're doing the pandering is really about ESG money. This has nothing to do with their actual beliefs. And if they do believe it, it's very shallow, because you could say what
they're doing. They have no problem moving it, but if they believed it so much, then they would have just kept it in.
Or they're too weak to fight for it. Which is why when they say like guys like us in this chat should just shut up and accept it. But the reason why they want us to do it is because they fear the pushback. And the reason why is because they feel like they can get away with it in the West because the West is more civilized, where in the places like Saudi Arabia and China, when I say civilized, I don't mean like the people. I just mean like culturally, it's a little bit more tame,
Yeah.
Like it's less fanatical. So you go to a place like Saudi Arabia and other Islamic countries, they're not going to tolerate it at all. So if they really had courage, they would fight for that and say, hey, well, if you guys are not going to play ball, then you're not getting our game. You know, your people could thank you for your government or your people for that. But they won't do it. Why? Because they're cowards, because they're snakes, because they can only get away with it in the West, where they're safe. Anywhere else in the world where they don't play ball with this stuff, they know that they'll lose money and their bottom line is always more important. And Marvel's also done this with the movies. Disney does this too. So in the end of the day, they could virtue signal all they want, but you know, they could scream into their echo chambers about how great of people they are. But when it push comes to shove, these people are cowards who will bend their back for anybody who gives them even the slightest push. You know? Yeah. So that's why I think it's important for people like us in this group and other people who are against this. They have to speak up, because guess what? They're more afraid of you than you might think that they are. And even though they're loud online, they really can't stop anything. You can't really cancel people. Even the idea of canceling somebody is bullshit. Look, if I'm gonna give you an example as a creator. Let's say I had a graphic novel, right? And my graphic novel was totally antithetical to everything that the left pushes. They could scream till they're blue on the face on Twitter, but if people that are fans and people who like the shit that I'm putting out and don't like the SGW shit, if they're paying for it and they're paying their money to get it, they really can't stop it. They really can't. All they can do is scream. Yeah, exactly. Isom's a great example of that. And it's just that we have to stay consistent and just do what we're going to do and like what we're going to like anyway, because they can't stop you from supporting things that you like.
If anything, like I remember someone wanted to cancel me because I said that I remember I went to a Final Fantasy server on Discord, and this girl wanted to cancel me because I told her I'm buying Final Fantasy 16 day one. And she was like trying to call me a racist. She was trying to call me a misogynist. I'm like, what is wrong with 16? And she's saying, it's too dark and scary. I'm like, where the fuck were you for the past 15 games, dude? Where were you with Dirt to Cerberus and all these other Final Fantasy games that came out recently? I'm like, damn.
Screw recently. Even Final Fantasy VIII has a pretty dark story. If you actually look at what's happening in that game, it's really dark.
Yeah, no, 8 is like a lot. Like 7, besides 7, 6, 6 would be the darkest. I'm just like, dude, 16 was like the most unwoke game I have played. Like, it was actually really, really good. Like, there was no woke shit. The reason why it was that way, because it's a Japanese game. I will always stand behind. I will always stand behind that. Like, Japan was Japan still makes games how they always were making their games.
What happened?
FF16 actually made Bahamut gay.
How you doing, man?
Yo, what's up?
I'm doing fine. Struggle with this whole mic thing right here, but overall everything's good. You know. Good.
I'm glad to hear it. Yeah, your mic sounds a little low and muffled.
Muffled.
Yeah.
But Crystalline Fallen. No, they made Bahamut gay, but you know what's cool about that? They made Bahamut gay and they never talked about it. They never put in your face.
Neozoic says, I heard the rumors that Insomniac's MJ looks were based on possibly a self-insert of one of the writers. I think so too, because that woman looks a hell of a lot like MJ.
Too much of a coincidence.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. Here's the gaslight though, because I want to say this because there's a middle ground though. Here's the trick. Here's a trick argument. They'll say, I mentioned this before, no, she's based off this actress. And when you look at the actress's eyes and the color and shape of her eyes and her hair are definitely of the actress. But if you look at the face shape is that of that writer. It's definitely that of the writer we're talking about. So what I think they do is to deflect criticism, and this is more of like a theory. I can't necessarily prove this, but I think that they combine masculine faces with the actresses so that they could say, no, it's based off of a real person, blah, blah, blah. But then when you look, it's actually combined with another character that has more of like androgynous.
Frankenstein.
It's a Frankenstein creation because it looks. I'm telling you, if you look at the actress and you take her face off and just stick it onto the head of that woman, it looks like MJ. It looks like Spider-Man's MJ. I might even create an image and post it on X if anyone's interested. I might actually do it just for like for shits and giggles.
Crystal, and let me respond to this.
Yeah, I'm gonna check that out myself.
I'm interested.
I mean, it is kind of in our face when Dion was making out with certain. Yeah, but you only see like once it only lasted for like a second, I would say, and that's it. It was never pushed in your face like, oh yeah, this gay character. Like Reverend said, you can make characters gay and you can write them really well. And Dion's one of those characters that was just really written well.
Mhm.
His gayness was never the focal point. Hold on, his gayness was never.
You know.
I couldn't make out what you said, man.
I say I don't, mind, gay characters in there. As long as you don't shove it down people's throat, it's alright.
Yeah,
I
it
agree.
wasn't shoved down your throat. The whole Dion was not shoved down your throat the whole time, and there was plenty of gay characters way before his time. There was that one guy from Final Fantasy VI. I forgot his fucking name. He was the prince, and he had a brother. I forgot his name. He was like bisexual or gay or something, and that was like in the 90s.
Yeah, I think the problem isn't. I think the problem isn't necessarily like that a character is gay. I mean, I'm gonna be honest. When it comes to trans, I'm totally against it. I'm gonna be real. I don't like it. I think it's bad for society, and I don't care if I get flack for it because I really think it's really bad. I don't care if it's for religious reasons or just like this for humanity as a whole. But either way, whether you're religious or not, I'm not really religious like that. Whatever, but whatever your reason is. If you really think about it, it's just not good. It's just not good. But the reason why I mention that is because I'm
trying to push it everywhere.
Because I don't think the problem is the gay characters. I think it's when they victimize the characters within the stories, and then they also make them overpowered Mary Sue's or Gary Stu's. It's like the character's a gay victim or a minority or a victim, but they're also overpowered and nothing can affect them. They can't be saved. Like
Kylo Ren.
Like Kylo Ren, or even Sadie and Red Dead.
Sorry about that.
So,
like, how you trying to be the victim and the hero at the same time? You know what I mean?
Exactly, bro. Exactly.
Yeah,
so
it makes no sense. Exactly.
I'm gonna give you an example, right? Because we're all guys in here. We all experienced this, right? But notice when there's a group of people, right? Like you have like a friend group, right? We all have friends. I'm assuming, right? I would hope we all have friends. So
no, man, no.
I mean, if we're, I'm sure there's gonna be commenters calling us all incels and shit, typical like whatever. But anyway, the point is, you have friends. You ever notice that the guy in the friend group who's sensitive, you can't make fun of him, he can't play along with the boys, he can't take a joke, he's always the guy that gets pushed out of the group? That is what that's what SJWs are, because in the end of the day, like, how can you feel camaraderie with somebody who is in a perpetual state of being a victim, and you can't joke with them, you can't, like, the part of being a brotherhood or feeling like you're family with somebody is the ability to joke around, to be your honest self, to be playful, to pick on each other a little bit, but also bring each other up, right? And if you can't do that, how are you expected to be seen as equal to other members of society? It just doesn't make sense. And I think that, like, no matter how much they try to push this shit, you cannot fight human psychology and human nature. And I think in any situation where you do that, that guy who can't take it will always be booted from the group. And he could cry and scream to, it's like, well, the teacher said you gotta let me play with you. No matter what he does, he's not gonna be truly accepted into the group, So,
dude, I had the same type of shit that happened to me. If it's okay, I can talk about that. I had the same type of shit. I went to a convention. It's called CollectorCon. That's where I met Jason Griffith and the rest of the old Sonic cast over there. And I got accepted into this friend group. And his name was Raul. He was like some fat Tanjiro. Revenant, you've seen him before. I talked about him, the fat Tanjiro guy.
Oh yeah.
And he would say the N-word every single second. Every sentence he would say the N-word, right? And I'm thinking, okay, this guy says the N-word, he's acts all gangster. I'm pretty sure he can take a couple of ball busting. So we end up busting his balls by him liking Genshin Impact and My Hero Academia. So we end up busting his balls, and then he kept like one time he was like he always projected a lot, so he always say something about me with children and other people with children. I'm like, what is wrong with you? So
Jesus, he took it there.
yeah, so he
Real quick.
blocked me, got other people to block me,
Like,
and he even talked to other
That's weird.
people.
Like, what?
Yeah, he even talked to other people
Uh-huh.
to block me that I don't even fucking know. And I'm like, all right, okay.
Well,
That is some weird shit, bro.
let me read this comment real quick because I saw this on screen. Give me 1 second.
No, he was a weirdo.
All right, give me 1 sec. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
So somebody said,
I just have
anime
like that.
and anime and manga do a lot of what these SJWs say the West do, but they don't force it. It is done normally and with a nuance and subtlety. The West doesn't get that and tries to belittle Japan in the process. I agree. And Savage said, I'm more excited for Japanese games than this SJW garbage, Rockstar
Same.
games, and many other Western companies do. Yeah, so I agree with that. But here's the problem. Here's where it gets funky now, right? And Hubcap, I'm going to use Final Fantasy 16 as an example as well. Here's the thing, right? Like, a game comes out in the West from Japan, and now the new thing is that we have to worry about the localizers, because now you can have a non-woke game that ends up having bullshit propaganda put in,
like Street Fighter,
or like other games via localization. So, for example, I was excited for Tekken 8. I was excited for Tekken 8, and now Tekken 8, there's a mode where you can like play like this pseudo story mode arcade kind of deal, and you could create a character.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And your character now has body A and B. But I almost guarantee you that I can't prove it. I'm like about 90% sure that if I buy a Japanese copy of that game and I translate the body types, they'll say male and female. I can almost guarantee. I would be even willing to bet money in the right circumstances.
The original translation, yeah. The original,
Because
the original letters, yeah.
So now it's like, all right, do I buy this game and support the Japanese developer, but at the same time I'm also getting, effed in the A by the localizers who are like laughing because they're like, oh yeah, you want your Eastern content? Well, here it is, or even with the story where you'll have like dubs of a game where they'll add in lines that are just not straight up not there in Japanese. So I've seen that with a few animes already, and even with Final Fantasy 16, like I mentioned before, they removed deeper connotation about one of the female characters being, Jill being assaulted in a more like, aggressive way. I'm not going to say it because we're on stream, right?
The R word, yeah.
What are your opinions on South Park joining the Pandaverse? I thought it was hilarious. I didn't see the episode myself, but
I've seen clips of it.
I've seen clips, and I'm glad that Disney is getting pissed off about it. They need to see that.
Yeah, fuck them.
Oh yeah.
One Piece live action.
I do not want to watch that, man. I'm sorry.
I'd rather fucking get my balls tortured.
I see a lot of anti-SJWs praising it, but it looked terrible for it. Like,
it just looks bad to me. Like even if it wasn't, even if it has zero SJW stuff, I think One Piece is one of the worst animes you can adapt to live action. I don't know what the hell they were thinking, bro.
I thought you were say it was one of the worst animes. No,
I mean I don't hate One Piece. It's not my favorite, but like it's okay. One Piece is a decent anime. It just goes on a little too long, in my opinion.
It just comes down to greed.
But in the end of the day, that live action looks awful. Like to me, it looks like Dragon Ball Evolution levels of bad. But again,
what it probably is that it's like a better quality than the other like anime adaptations.
One of the only good anime adaptations I've ever seen was actually the original Death Note Japanese live action.
I was about to say that, yeah.
That one was pretty good. It was like even that movie had some like bullshit in it, but it was all right. It was okay. And then, like, we're not going to talk about what they did to Elle in the American one. That was an abomination. I'm sorry. That was horrible. But
awful.
You know what bothered me about the Netflix adaptation of it, where you had race swapped Elle. The reason why it really bothered me was only because Elle is known for being pale and gaunt looking. Like he looks like a guy who doesn't sleep. He's so pale and like sickly looking. And then like when you have a person of color, like it's not like it's what really got to me is that that's one of those characters, especially that like his part of his identity is looking like a kind of like, no pun intended, but he himself almost looks like a god of death. I feel like that's what they were going for with the manga and anime. And then when you cast him, it's like a person of color. They have, you know, tone to their skin, so he doesn't look as pale. He doesn't look as like he's like lacks sleep.
He looks like just a regular guy.
He looks like a regular guy. So like,
it's like they didn't care at all.
What's really funny is even the actor fucking hated the role. He not hated the role. He loves Death Note. He loves L. But he hated the fact that he was casted for L. They used him. He even said, "Why don't you get a Japanese looking guy? Why don't you get like a emo looking guy?"
Yeah, like it's just it was especially egregious considering that so much of his character is done visually, and then you change him, and it's like, again, like I don't like race swaps at all, but there's some times where I guess whatever. But like I don't like them, but like they're not as bad. But like with a character like L, to me that's like almost like casting Vegeta. If you race swap Vegeta or something, it'll be like, what the hell are you doing? Like,
though to be fair,
Willem
Dafoe is greatly cast for Ryuk.
I agree,
I agree
there.
Perfect,
but he's the only good thing in that movie.
Watani was perfect. Watani was perfect.
I've been burning bridges all day, but I think I'll just knock this one down.
You know what's really funny too? I actually think this is funny because it goes along.
Quote from the two.
Go ahead. I'm sorry. Well, I was about to say, it goes along with the ESG bullshit, SJW bullshit. You want to hear something bad? Like the fact that the role's been swapped with Light and Misa, or Mia, sorry, in the live action. So Mia.
Oh yeah, that's because woman's strong, men bad.
Mia was more like Light than fucking Light.
But because you know what it is, Misa offends SJWs. Misa is a submissive female who's in love and willing to die for the man that she deems as God.
Oh,
and
she's hot too. I
mean that too, but like that, exactly. And she's hot, so you combine all those things, and SJWs are like, how dare she be an attractive, submissive woman who looks up to the man of her dreams? Also, like, no, we got to change it. She's the one manipulating everything, and this is the guy who's naive. And again, back to what we initially talked about. This is the kind of subversion that the writers add to the stories. And then they try to say, well, in this universe, she's this way. In this lore, she's this way. When they really just can't admit.
To make it convenient for whatever bullshit propaganda they're
trying. Even though they just can't admit that they don't fucking like it because it hurts their feelings that she's portrayed that way, and they have no respect for the source material or what they were going for, so they make those changes. I think we can all agree Ryuk was the only good part of that movie. I would say
Ryuk, Watani, and that's really.
I mean, the plot was dog shit. I mean, we just throw that out the window. Light, terribly cast, but at least Willem Dafoe as Ryuk was wasted, honestly, in a bad movie.
I did like how they have Final Destination style deaths, though. I did like that. That actually was pretty cool.
Yeah, but I feel like that kind of also hurt the story because the whole point of the manga was that Light wanted everyone to know that he was killing them, so he would kill them in a similar way. Because he wanted people to fear like this one being that's killing everybody. So even then, I feel like they were cool visually, but they dropped the ball on it narratively, you know? So, I mean, it is what it is. But
at least this Light had one thing going for him. He ended up killing people outside of his local area. I will say that shit. At least he actually killed people outside the country. Unlike Light, where he was just killing people in one specific area, just Japan. That's it.
Yeah. But I think also like just changing him to being a Westerner and stuff, I don't think it works. I would love to see a director really have the balls to cast very well established Japanese actors and really give a true adaptation and understand that the country of origin does not affect the quality of it doesn't affect the fandom. Like if you're a fan of Death Note or anime, you expect a lot of the characters to be Asian, right? A lot of them. So if they make a movie where they're all portrayed as Asians, then I don't think. See, if someone was bought, like they don't have any faith in these properties. They don't have faith that hey, an all Asian cast can carry a movie. So that's why it pisses me pisses me off so much when they say
Shinigami are Asian gods. They are a part of Asian
lore.
Lore and everything. So it doesn't make no fucking sense.
And just the people, it's like the thought process behind it. It's like we think everyone should be equal. We want to have inclusivity until they think that hey, if we cast all these characters as Asian, the movie won't sell. So how strongly do they really believe in these properties if they're gonna do that? You get what I'm saying?
What I would have done if I was like making this movie, this is like what I would have done. I would have made it be like, okay, we're gonna make this Death Note live action movie. Here's what we're gonna do. It takes place after the anime. So it takes place in the same world, but it's in America. You know what I mean? And we're gonna replace like the names instead of like Mia and Light or whatever. We're gonna name them different, like Kevin and I don't know Melanie or something. Like you know what I mean? Like have it be in the same world. It would actually make a lot more sense.
I would go as far as to say that if they're not going to cast and be true to the source material, they should take the world building and use that as a way to tell the story, as opposed to just race swapping or changing characters. So similar to what you said, maybe instead of Light and L, another guy in another place finds the book and it's a different character entirely. So it's
that's
the
what
Death.
I'm trying to tell you.
Yeah, like it's the Death Note universe, but it's not the story of Light. And then even then that would be egregious, but it's better than just butchering the characters, you know?
Yeah, just totally new characters, rename them, totally new characters. Ryuk remembers Light. He makes references to Light, but now it's in America. We're gonna see what happens when an American kid gets the hold of the Death Note, and then you can make a whole franchise and be like, okay, this happened in Japan. Now there's a new Kira.
Yeah, or something similar.
What's going on? You know what I mean? Like, what's going on?
But even then, if let's say I was the producer and I had and I invested in it, I would straight up tell if it was me, I would straight up tell the director and the writers to follow the anime and manga and keep it tight to that. Try to cast the best Asian actors you could. Like if I feel like that's why fans need to be the ones that produce these films, and until like real fans get a hold of the money required to invest in these projects and in these studios, you're gonna have an out of touch 80s coke sniffer who's gonna tell who's producing these films. You know what I'm saying?
No, 80s coke sniffers made good movies, dude. That's a little bit too much credit. They made Commando, they made Terminator,
but none of those were adaptations.
No. They made good movies.
They made good movies, but not good adaptations.
Nowadays, let me tell you something. They're soy milk drinkers.
Modern day coke sniffers.
Modern day coke sniffer, yeah, because 80s movies were great when they were original, but some of those adaptations were god awful. Some of them are just terrible adaptations. But whatever.
Punisher was pretty good.
No, that movie was pretty good. Outside of him not having the skull on his chest, and like even the change of him being a cop is not that bad. Even though it kind of it kind of nerfs the character, but it wasn't that bad. It's a different
universe. We could just talk it up to that. It's a different universe. Punisher.
Yeah, but it could have been worse. But I think some adaptations were pretty bad.
Anyway.
So yeah, let's get back to the subject at hand. So what was the subject we were talking about?
2 hours later. Anyway, Spider-Man 2.
Oh yeah. So
all that. We kind of got into it, then it deviated to a whole bunch of other shit. I mean, which is cool, it's fine, but we gotta get back.
Well, so I'll let everyone talk because I've been kind of running my mouth the most, honestly. So I'll let everyone give their take, and then I'll talk about how I feel about it.
All right, so
let me talk about the spoilers. Don't worry, just talk about the spoilers. I'm gonna get back to Spider-Man 2, like not even now. I'm busy with Metal Gear Solid, so go ahead.
All right, cool. Master Gaming, you got any thing about Spider-Man? I don't know if you finished it or if you care about. But if you want to give your.
You know how the developers at Insomniac are I think the developers at Insomniac are colorblind because the Cuban and Puerto Rican flag look similar, but I think
But yeah. But don't you think that's kind of brain dead though? Like
It is. I mean,
you're
like,
going out of
Yeah,
your
I
way to
figure
put
these
a flag.
people like went to college, you know, and all that. They understand game design, all this complex shit. Then it's like you don't know
But
the difference
it's
between the
like
Cuban flag and Puerto Rican flag.
and you're crying until you're blue in the face about inclusivity, and then you get something so basic wrong. I feel like that's indefensible,
Exactly.
you know?
Yeah, I agree.
Because if it
There's
was
two
me,
things to this. There's two
Yeah.
things to this. This is my opinion. This is my thing. I think that the one guy was at home developing the game. He hasn't slept in 3 days, and he was just trying to get this done real quickly. He's tired. He's fucking tired. I've been there, done that. That's why. So I hope that's the case. I hope that's the case. He was just very sleepy.
I think that's wishful thinking. But,
yeah, I was gonna
mean,
say I like I actually can respect that
Yeah,
you're
I mean, I'm not saying it's not a
the wishful
possibility.
thinking.
I'm
I
not saying
respect
it's out
that.
of the realms of a possibility, but I
But
think that's like a long shot. Knowing like
yeah,
this team, this studio, what they had like 5 years to work on the game. Now they're gonna
it's
have to
just
patch it
silly.
out.
It's just silly. I feel like,
I mean,
especially
on
that
top of that,
they're
yeah,
so
I'm sorry.
socially conscious. They're like so
Yeah.
socially conscious about being PC that it seems so crazy that they would make that mistake. Like if it was just like a developer, like a Japanese studio just got it wrong, it's like, all right, whatever, that
Or
sucked, they
indie
got it wrong.
developer.
But or indie developer, but like this studio goes out of their way to say, too bad, I don't care if MJ's overpowered.
Yeah, this would be no different if you wanted to
Blocking Kyle and shit. And these are the same people that are getting flags wrong. It's like it's like the irony is incredible.
It's funny,
almost
yeah.
it's almost like a parody. It's almost like you're living in a parody, you know?
But then they'll be the first ones to tell us like, oh, well, educate yourself, or well, actually, like the fucking the what is it, the face model thing with the woman who looks just like Mary Jane saying, I'm flattered that people think it's me, but it actually isn't. It's like, oh yeah, okay. It conveniently looks like her. Then you got a bunch of cucks in the fucking comments section on there saying, oh, I can't believe people actually got that wrong. It's like, no, they look almost identical. And of course she would deny it because she wants to flap off of her because people are pointing out how ugly Mary Jane is, and she probably thinks like, oh, they're saying I'm ugly.
Wait until the
she
bots
worked at
come
the
out.
studio, so of course she would. Why would they not and look at her and be like, you know what? She inspires us to make Mary Jane look like her. They don't have to like outright get the face scanning technology, have her in the studio doing it. They can just do that themselves.
And meanwhile,
And another thing I want to say.
Mm-hmm.
And one last thing I want to say about when it comes to Spider-Man 2 is a lot of these wizards that tell us to go touch grass, like I think their argument is rubbish, like telling us to go touch grass, like these weirdos.
Dude, I'm gonna tell you why that's the stupidest shit that has ever come out of like the internet. If you are writing a comment on the internet, you are not touching grass. And if you are touching grass, nobody can tell what you're doing. So how can you tell somebody else to touch grass when you're only looking at their online interactions and not what they're doing in real life? Half the time where I'm commenting on my YouTube channel, responding to comments, I'm in the gym, like resting between sets. You get what I'm saying? Or things like that. Like I'm usually doing stuff and then I respond to these comments. So
I love how these same people say go touch grass, but they're sitting here. They're like, oh yeah, go touch grass. Also, I spent $700 on a PS5 with the copy of Spider-Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Look, they're no different. Why don't they touch grass? They're the ones defending these companies online 24/7, looking for anyone to be offended.
And I think universally.
Pretty woman out there.
And I just think universally, if you're on the internet, you shouldn't even bother saying touch grass. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Don't even go there, because it's like, it's such a hypocritical thin insult that can like easily be flipped on you, that I don't get where that argument comes from. To me, it's one of the dumbest things you can say online in any form to another person, right? Because like I said, I could be talking, like I was telling Revan, I was actually talking to somebody today, and you know, whatever. But also I'm like on my phone doing what I'm doing while I'm going about my day. So you could say touch grass, but I'm probably outside more of the day than these people are.
It's just overall not a really good counter.
It's not a good it's not a good insult. And I'm not saying that's a high side myself, because again, other people you know, they're doing shit too. So it's like, it's just not a good insult. It's a terrible insult. Like there's no point in saying it. Christian, you have an opinion you wanna?
Yeah, about like Spider-Man 2. From what you've seen,
Well-
I don't know if you played it or not, but
Well, I played it with my nephew Corey, and I was underwhelmed, honestly.
mhm.
Yeah.
Actually, some of the elements originated from the Disney's Ultimate Spider-Man animated series.
Yes, like Harry as Venom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And not only that, but it's also
Christian, real quick, do you think it's like a downgrade to the first one, or do you think like it gets a few things right?
Well, it had
Compared to?
some things right. I liked the Spider Bot and
Mhm.
the skills, but the gameplay is definitely better than the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, the gameplay does look pretty good though.
Yeah, yeah. Like the game, like when you're playing as Spider-Man and you're fighting goons and stuff, it's fun when it's not glitching. And
Yeah, that too.
so
It has
it's
a lot
fun
of
while it's
glitches.
yeah, it's fun when it's not glitching and the combat is like interesting. Actual combat is good. But when you think about the narrative, the story, some of these boss fights, you know, just taking forever, like walking moments of it being a walking simulator that could be perfectly conveyed as a cutscene.
Yeah.
Mary Jane parts that nobody wanted. Like there's so much bad. It's like can you really call the game good when there's so much bad that you have to wade through to justify it? You know,
Yeah.
like you're saying a game is good based on 30% of the game. And
Basically.
I just
Like, yeah,
I don't
combat's real fun, then everything else like
also screwing up Venom. Like how do you fuck up Venom? Like okay, so at the end of the game, I saw a YouTube video. At the end of the game, you get the anti-Venom suit, right? This is the one thing I got spoiled on. You get the anti-Venom suit, and when you're in the black suit, you're using anti-Venom powers, which are white, and you're wearing the black suit. Like that don't make any sense at all. And not only that, but we were also promised that we were going to get a Venomized suit of each suit in the game. So what I thought was when we go into Venom mode, let's say we're in the Tobey Maguire Raimi suit, right? Let's say we're in the Tobey Maguire suit. If we activate the symbiote mode, his suit would just turn black. Like it'll be the Spider-Man 3 black suit. Nope. It just goes to the actual black suit you see in the game. That's another thing. Downgrading the symbiote into a fucking devil trigger. Why?
Emerald Torres says, or the just watch popcorn argument. Yes, I agree. That's another terrible argument as well. And a lot of people saying that are very, very hypocritical. You know, obviously popcorn, capital P, OPC.
I get it.
Yeah. So, you know, but anyway, like, first off, what they did to Anti-Venom is horrible. So now I'm gonna enter some spoiler territory.
Go ahead.
Yeah, so here's the thing. The fact that you ruined Anti-Venom because you totally removed Eddie Brock from the equation. So it destroys that entire plot thread that never happens. Even with the Anti-Venom suit, Peter is actually no match for Venom still. So Peter consistently loses, like he barely gets through his fights with Venom and is constantly put in a situation where Miles has to save him.
That happens early on too with
It happens.
Sandman.
It happens throughout the story.
Not Sandman. I'm sorry, being saved by Miles. MJ. He's so like
weak and cucked.
Yeah, weak. He's cucked. He's like incompetent. Especially
he's incompetent.
The first game, it's like what the fuck happened? Like you would figure he would be less incompetent by the
Black
sequel.
Man appeared. Tyrone appeared.
Yeah, well,
like Miles is Jesus or something. He's
and look,
I'm an almighty savior.
I'm gonna get into like some pretty heavy spoilers here. So, Miles repeatedly saves Peter from Venom, and Venom is constantly Peter is constantly talking about how much better Miles is than him as Spider-Man, and how great he is, and how he's apologizing repeatedly throughout the game to both him and MJ. Also, Also, they use the symbiote suit as an excuse to make Peter like say certain things that Peter wouldn't say, and they almost seem addressed at the fans playing the game rather than Peter and Miles themselves. It almost feels like You remember when Ezio in Assassin's Creed 2 at the end, where the goddess Minerva, she's saying, "I'm not talking to you, I'm talking to Desmond." I don't know if you guys remember that scene. It almost feels like the dialogue is directed at the criticism of Miles rather than a conversation between characters. Like, Peter will say something like, "You're not Spider-Man, I'm Spider-Man, I'm the hero, you guys are all, you're all against me.
Yeah, you're just jealous and all that.
You're just jealous. I can't be replaced.
I made you, and
I taught you everything."
People that make the excuse that, oh yeah, it's a symbiote, it's not really him. No, that's like them trying to make the player dislike Peter, and therefore it like big ups Miles, where now Miles seems like the better character.
But deeper than that,
down, and he's also basically beating the symbiote out of Peter.
Yeah, which I predicted.
And as the game plays out at the end, then he's like, "Oh, maybe you should be Spider-Man," and then he basically insinuating he wants to settle down with MJ.
Well, he basically retires. He says you should be Spider-Man for a while, and like, I just want to live a normal life for a while, basically.
Yeah,
but
here's by the third game, he's gonna come back,
die
out of retirement, then he's
to
gonna
die,
sacrifice himself, and then die.
Look, if you know the lore,
MJ.
If you know the lore, this is the ultimate. This is a perversion of the Ultimate Universe, and Peter is gonna die at the hands of Green Goblin, and that's what's gonna happen. Like, I think people shouldn't be surprised when that does happen. And then also they're probably gonna use the trash monster Green Goblin that sucks, that has no creativity. But anyway, that's another conversation in general. But here's the point. You have Spider-Man saying these things, and it almost doesn't feel like it almost feels like Spider-Man with the symbiote suit is a stand-in for the fans of the character who don't like Miles. It's like they know, like there's a lot of fans that feel like A, Miles isn't really Spider-Man. B, they don't want to play as him, they don't care as him. They don't care about him. And C, that he is just a half-ass copy. He's not the hero. No one bought the game to play as Miles. People like Peter. Peter will always be Spider-Man. So
didn't Miles Morales that game not sell very well?
I don't know. I don't know.
Dude, that's another thing I want to talk about. Like, I remember playing Miles Morales, and I said this in my live stream playing it. The whole house is covered in Puerto Rican flags, and I was like, I don't know, guys. I think this guy's Puerto Rican. I don't know.
Maybe.
I don't. Is he Mexican or something? I don't know. I can't tell.
And here's so back to the subject though, because I want to make this second point. Miles says things like, "No, I'm just trying to help you. No, Peter, no, I never thought that. I never whatever." Because the writers of the game are trying to make it seem like Miles doesn't even really want the responsibility. He's happy being part of the team. But the agenda behind the writing and behind what they're doing is to promote him and put down Peter. Mm-hmm. So in a way, it's kind of like double speak. It's like Miles is apologizing for getting rid of Spider-Man. So like for the people playing the game, it's like Miles is basically saying, "I'm sorry, I don't want to be Spider-Man either. I like being a team with Peter. It's not my fault that I'm replacing him." And Peter's like,
"But it's Peter who doesn't want to be Spider-Man anymore."
So yeah, and then on the
way for us to like not feel like it's being forced down our throats.
Exactly. And on the other hand, Peter is saying, in the inverse of that, Peter's saying, "No, you're not really Spider-Man. I don't like you. I don't care about you. You're a dog shit character. You suck. Terrible character. Like." But you're not really Spider-Man. So it's kind of like just it's just all subversion to try to get people to accept that they're getting rid of him and they're replacing him with Miles. So so that's basically what happens there.
Yeah, no, like I heard a lot of things about this game, but I heard a lot of things.
And Mary Jane basically becomes Sarah Connor toward the second half of the game.
Oh fuck!
She goes on a shooting spree on these symbiotes. She has her Mary Sue gun, her convenient sonic weapon that can damage all the symbiotes. And again, yes, the symbiotes are weak to sonics, but it's written in the game so that Mary Jane could be a Mary Sue. She has that weapon.
Okay. Did they at least do the fucking pipe scene from Spider-Man 3?
No.
Where he puts down the pipes and he
knocks
out the pipes?
No, Miles does something similar where he's hitting a bell, like he's punching a bell with his, his Dragon Ball Z electrical powers. We all know Spider-Man for, and
After you
he
spend 2
basically
hours in the boss fight.
and he basically beats Peter's ass. Then he basically beats the symbiote out of him. Peter loses the symbiote. He gets the anti-venom suit. Also, the reason why he even has the anti-venom suit is because of Miles and Mr. Negative from the first game. Even with the anti-venom suit, he sucks. He gets his ass beat again. Miles saves him again, and then Peter does a cutscene where he uses the anti-venom suit to erode away the symbiote, causing Harry to die. So here's the fun part. Even after Harry dies from losing the symbiote and the damage from the fight, Miles uses his electrical powers to restart Harry's heart and bring him back to life. So even after he brings him back to life, it doesn't end there. He also, I think, had to power up this generator, if I'm not mistaken, also. So he was like super crucial to the end game, and Peter was basically useless. He was literally a useless, incompetent Spider-Man. And even his civilian form, he's like the wife in a relationship. Every time we see Peter and Mary Jane together, he's cooking. She's the one who makes money for the.
He's literally cooking pancakes for everyone.
For everyone, and don't get me wrong. There's nothing wrong with cooking for a woman that you care about, but it's not about that. It's just the way it's positioned within the story that we make our collective image of what's going on.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
So tell me that again, real quick.
So
tell me that again right now.
Yeah, man. Basically that's what we're dealing with. So, that's what we got going on, man. And honestly, like, I got into a debate with somebody said that I don't like Spider-Man 2 because it's woke trash. It is woke trash. Yes, it has some good combat. It has some good gameplay here and there, but ultimately, it's not
Last of Us 2.
I would say it's just as bad almost. It's just as bad.
No, at least you don't got Harry kissing fucking, Peter or something.
I think that I honestly believe that narratively, Spider-Man 2 is far worse with the agenda than even Last of Us 2. 'Cause I really think it's even worse, actually. So
another feminist rant. Oh my fucking god, bro, dude. Dude, they ruined Scream. Really, that's one of my favorite
they made
symbiotes.
with the first game is gone.
Yeah. So, and look, trust me.
You thought like, the first one was good. The second one.
Hey, you know what I don't like too? Like, this is how I predicted. My prediction was way better than the symbiote, than the symbiote in this game. So this is how I predicted it. I thought, because Spider-Man 2, he was gonna lose his powers. He's gonna lose his powers like the actual movie, right? Like the actual movie. He's gonna lose his powers. Then you get those walking segments, right?
Yeah.
You lose your powers, and then you get the symbiote, and you have your powers back, and you're stronger.
Yeah. The funny thing is that I had a conversation with Revenant about this game, and I told him everything that was gonna happen before the game released. Like before the game even came out.
I think a video months ago.
We talked about it, but even after,
wasn't like to that extent, but we kind of had more conversations like off screen.
Yeah, we had conversations off screen, and he started laughing. He started laughing because
don't like at the end they're showing someone making pancakes. You can't tell. I'm like, watch it be Peter making.
Yeah, watch it be Peter.
The camera pans out. It's Peter making pancakes for everyone, including Miles' Black Death girlfriend.
Yeah, at that point, I think that's opinions on. Like,
you guys remember when mental asylums were a thing? I sure do miss them.
Yeah, you know what I think? I think they took the scene from Spider-Man Far From Home, not Far From Home, No Way Home, where Spider-Man was apologizing for not being black, and he said, "What if we make that the story? What if we make that Spider-Man 2?" So.
Yeah,
but look again, and I want to state this too, because there's nothing wrong with like black characters, Asian characters. There's nothing wrong with them at all. I think if you really are against those characters, I think it is actually racist to hate a character just because of their race. But that's not what we're dealing with here. People love to twist it into that, and that's not the case. I haven't met anyone who said I don't like Blade because he's black. I don't like Spawn because he's black. I've never met anyone who said that. And guess what? All those characters have in common. They're original characters. I think the problem is, but they're well written, but they're also original heroes. And I think that when you take an original hero, you can, and I don't think people have a problem. It's when you take a character like Spider-Man and you say what, or a character like Wolverine or the Hulk, and you say, well, what if Wolverine was a girl? I want Wolverine to be a girl. I want Hulk to be a woman. What if Iceman was gay?
They already have a Wolverine girl, his daughter.
I know. But what I'm saying is, but X-23.
Wasn't X-23?
X-23 is a clone. But the point is that X-23 is actually much less egregious because she never says she actually recently in the comics she becomes Wolverine, which is what I'm saying. X-23 is a great character. She doesn't need to be Wolverine. She is X-23. You get what I'm getting at?
Yeah.
So
the character was made before 2000. So.
Yeah, there are levels to it. It's one thing if I say honestly, even if Miles had spider powers and was his own character, like totally his own character, I probably would dislike him less. But he literally is a replacement to Peter. He is literally just what if Peter Parker was black and we changed his name to Miles Morales. That's really what he is.
That's why people don't like him, because he feels like some bargain bin copy of an existing
You know
character
why they made
that
him
people
too,
grew
right?
to actually love.
Obama administration. The Obama administration.
No. It wasn't Obama. He was made during the 90s.
Miles?
Yeah, he was made during the 90s. They made him because of the fucking riots that happened in LA.
From what I remember, so I have to look up the information, but from what I recall, Brian Michael Bendis created a character because Peter had recently died in the comics, and they were going to bring Spider-Man back, but because of the Obama administration, they wanted to have a half black Spider-Man, so they created him. You could look into it yourself because it's kind of like a long thing.
If I remember he was from the 90s. If I remember right, guys, Chad, is Miles Morales from the 90s?
You might be thinking about Miguel O'Hara, Spider-Man 2099.
Yeah, that's a way better character than Miles.
That's a better character. So, but again, people love to make the argument. Well, if you don't like everything that's woke, you are racist. It's like, dude, I am a Hispanic. I would love to have an original Hispanic hero, but when you make Namor the Samaritan Hispanic, I'm gonna say no. That's fucking dog shit. You know what I mean? So
I just realized I'm wearing Miles Morales pajamas on me right now. Oh my god! I just realized that shit.
Ill.
Yeah.
I'd rather be butt naked. Anyway.
Oh my god. I want a Punisher game. Me too. I want a Spawn game.
Neozoic says, question, which one is worse, Marvel Spider-Man 2 game or the Amazing Spider-Man 2 movie? The game, Marvel Spider-Man 2. Hell yeah, it's worse.
Actually pretty good.
The movie it's bad, but kind of watchable. But then again,
the Devil May Cry reboot, where it's there's some redeeming factors about it.
Yeah. There's some cool stuff
and the level design and everything.
Amazing Spider-Man 2 has some good. The movie has some good.
The suit
cinematics. It has good cinematics. There's some really cool visuals. Like when he web shoots and you can see the electrical tendrils in slow motion, and it looks cool. You know what I like about that movie, The Amazing Spider-Man 2, even though that movie's ass. They ruined a lot of things I like, but at least it looked like a comic book. It really looked like a comic.
Yeah.
But the game's Marvel Spider-Man 2 is I can't call a game with 30% of the gameplay being good a good game. I just can't do it. I just can't. Are the people who created the models talented? Yes. Are the digital artists talented? Yes. Is the music decent? Yeah. Is the combat good? Yeah, the combat's fine. But all right, if everything else is trash, the designs of the characters, the narrative, boring ass walking simulation going on, how can I honestly call it a great game? I just can't.
The graphics are all right. I'll even say they're all right. They're not as good as Ghost of Tsushima.
But Y2 Viral, Christian Slates, and Master Gaming, which one do you prefer? Marvel Spider-Man 2, the game, or Amazing Spider-Man 2, the movie?
I prefer the Amazing Spider-Man 2 movie.
Mm-hmm.
Are we gonna get Reborn back in here? No.
We're talking about.
He said he's charging his phone. So
okay.
Wait, we're talking about story or?
I guess overall.
Overall, if we're talking about just comparing a game to a movie, so I would say
Yeah,
so I would say story, yes, story for Amazing Spider-Man 2 was better because it actually was a fucking Peter that it was almost like it was actually a Peter that was very confident, but not really. Like he had this 50-50 with him.
The fake confidence.
He had a
Sometimes.
fake confidence. Yeah, he had a fake confidence that actually he used to to hide his shyness, which was actually cool.
And that's canon to the original Spider-Man. He even, I think, in some of the early comics, he even mentions that when he puts on the suit, he's more confident because his face is covered. He's a hero, and it took him a long. And over the course of the original run, you see that his Spider-Man personality begins to integrate with his Peter Parker personality. A lot of people overlook that like little thread about the original Spider-Man.
That's the same thing too. That's the same thing with like a lot of things too. It hits home for a lot of people too. Like when you're like, let's say now this hits home for me and everyone else. Like let's say when you're going to a convention, like let's say Anime Expo, you put on a cosplay, you're more confident when you go to an anime convention.
Yeah, for sure. And true, it's like when you're in an environment that you're comfortable in, you're gonna feel like your confidence will increase, right? Like when I'm in the gym, I feel like I'm indestructible. I feel indestructible when I'm there.
Sorry about that.
I love Static Shock. I wish that would actually come back.
Oh yeah. That's one of the best.
That should have actually had movies and games tied to it,
but now, see, here's the funny thing: if they make a movie of it now, they're gonna use his new origin that he got his powers in the Black Lives Matter rally. So that's actually it sounds like a joke. It sounds like a joke, but it's true. That's really what the new canon is.
When you told me that, I was like, no, please. I was waiting for you to say, I'm just joking.
We used to have dope ass black characters back. Like Spawn, Static Shock, characters like that. Nowadays, we got pushed like
Cyborg,
Luke Cage.
Luke Cage.
Yeah.
Storm is one of the best ones.
Yeah.
Storm.
Black Panther. So I mean, I don't know. I think
they want to do shit with them now when they're doing all this like racial divide and all that. Now they actually want to do something with them.
Hell, even Black Lightning was pretty cool. Black Lightning, when I was a kid, I thought it was pretty cool.
He was a premiere skin for Raiden in Injustice 2.
Oh, was he? That's pretty interesting.
Yeah. Hey, Chris Phone says, I like Sergeant Major Johnson. Well, did you know that Sergeant Major Johnson has the same voice actor as Dimitri Lousteau from Sly Cooper?
Yeah.
Yeah,
that's true. I know.
Interesting.
Yeah, Sly Cooper.
Very interesting.
I even made a video where I took the two characters and switched their voices.
But GTA 6.
Sniping is fun, says people love original characters, not hand-me-downs, not table scraps, not tokenization. I agree. And sniping is fun. I'm working on my own series, and there's going to be none of that bullshit in it. So you should check it out. It's on my channel. So final verdict on Spider-Man. Like,
I'll give you the final verdict. It's ass.
It's ass.
I recommend
Peter's a femboy. He gets pegged by Mary Jane.
Yet, don't bother. Don't be fooled. Don't listen to what the fanboys or apologists want to say about it.
Being all serious,
I'll give it one thing: the gameplay.
And don't listen to the game journalist that gave it high score.
Hold on, everybody, one at a time.
Hey,
one at a time.
Apollo Patriot, you said I want to push your game, right? We already had one for the PS2 and Xbox with Thomas Jane voicing him.
You damn right, Christian Freitas, and that's the best Punisher game.
My last name is pronounced Freitas, by the way.
Oh, is it Freitas? Okay.
Yeah.
Christian Freitas. It's damn good.
So far, I'm like this is my verdict first. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah. So that game, Punisher, was excellent.
What were we saying about you?
The one from Volition, right?
Yeah, the one from Volition, exactly. Yeah, that game is amazing. I love that game. I was playing it not that long ago.
The DMC reboot, the soundtrack is actually really good.
But
like the nightclub. where you gotta fight the you gotta avoid like what was it, getting shocked, some shit like that.
But I do want us to like focus a little bit because we all started talking at the same time. So I'm just gonna call people out, and I just want them to give their final opinions on Spider-Man 2. So till we move on to the next thing. Christian Frades, what is your final verdict on Spider-Man 2, the game?
Well, I thought it was the Insomniac one.
Yes.
I thought it was okay.
Okay. What are we talking, gameplay or narrative, or is that like your just total opinion?
It's awesome, but the story,
yeah,
not really.
So it drags it down to being like very average for you to mid.
Yeah, but I don't use the word mid. I just like making obscure inside jokes instead.
Okay. All right.
That's fair.
All right. You're a cultured man, and we don't use those words mid.
Yes.
So Y2, what's your final verdict?
To be honest with you, it's like a side quest video game more than like Spider-Man. So my verdict, I got a feeling going to win Game of the Year, but you know how there's people like.
Yeah, I think that game's gonna get
nowadays. So
yeah, it's gonna get a lot of undeserving praise, and we all should be ready for it to win a bunch of awards as well, probably.
Yeah.
Despite it being ass. Master. Master, what's your final verdict? Master.
My final verdict is a 4 out of 10.
A 4?
That's fair.
It's like is 4 like dog shit, or is it diarrhea? Is diarrhea below 4?
I would say it's pretty mad.
Okay.
I'm actually gonna
Hubcap, what's your final verdict?
I'm actually gonna talk because I actually put some time into the game and everything. I experimented with a lot of the accessibility options and see what they added. Just to fuck around with the game.
Mm-hmm.
I'll go with a 6.
We already had a slow motion mode in the 2002 Spider-Man game. It's called Matrix mode.
Yeah, they brought that back.
Yeah.
Back. I'm gonna give it like a 6.5. Might be generous. Might be giving it a 7. I'll tell you why. The swinging feels really good. This is by far the best swinging we've had in a Spider-Man game. The gliding is pretty good. I like how they give him the spider armpit things. The gameplay is pretty good. Sometimes it gets a little chaotic. Like I did say, you have a little bit too much enemies being a little bit too aggressive. The fact that there's no really a lock on is pretty stupid too. I don't like how they didn't have like a lock on feature, even though they want to be accessibility. I don't know. But the story so far, like the first boss, the game opens up with Sandman. I thought that was pretty awesome. That was pretty dope. It's all right. I mean, it's so Spider-Man 1. You know what I mean? Like that's basically what I'm coming as. It just feels like a over.
Oh, sorry.
It really and truly it feels like DLC. There's no way I can justify $70 for a 7 to 8 hour experience.
What's that sound in the background? There's like a tapping going on.
Sorry, that's me. But
he's adding more
dramatic
effect.
There's no fucking way I could excuse that. Okay, when I see an open world game like Spider-Man, when I see an open world New York type, game, I want 30, 40 hour story.
Yeah.
I want 30, 40 hour story. Yakuza gives me that. It's not even a big open world.
Yeah. I think, you know what, to your point, I think that a 30 to 40 hour game can be justified if the story needs to be that long. I think with superhero games, they generally don't. But again, like I'm not gonna dispute your opinion because obviously it's your take on things, right? So
I think the other issue is that didn't they make the world bigger?
they made the world bigger, but not too much. And the reason why I want like a 40-hour story, 50-hour story, because I want them to explain things. Maybe we play as Venom in the Symbiote planet. Maybe
I think that could have been interesting.
Yeah,
like a
maybe we go
prequel,
dive deeper into other stuff that was never answered,
like a flashback.
Flashbacks, symbiote flashback. Maybe this Venom knows Eddie, or how is shit going on? Like, that's what we want to know. What is going on?
I just think that game would need to be rewritten entirely to be a better game. I think that in its current state, it's almost unsalvageable as like a story. I think they would need to like really change. They would have to change so much that the entire story would be different. But so your score 6.5, do you base that on gameplay or do you base it on gameplay plus? All right, the overall. I mean, personally, I find that to be a little giving, I guess, or a little what's the word?
It's so
generous.
Far.
It's generous, but I like, and again, it's your.
It's so far because I just got to the black suit.
All right, but my rating for it has to be like a 3.5 out of 10. The story, yeah.
I just think that even if you like the game, even if you like the gameplay and the story, I think the last third act of the game, I think drags it down really bad. It just drags it down so much that even if you could get past the bullshit early on. You get past the early on like SJW stuff, but it just ramps up to 10 at the end. Like I couldn't believe that the last 2 hours of the game or so was like so hardcore with like the bullshit. So I mean, again, it's generous, and I'm not gonna like I you have your opinion, so it's your right to it, and I respect it. But for me, it's like dog shit level. Like to me, that gameplay can't justify that story. For me, it's so bad that whatever goodness came from like the combat is lost for me.
And
but
speaking about combat,
Neozoic says, Remnant, and the crew. What about the question that you guys are going to answer? How about you would improve, fix, remove, or change the game if you are the head writer, creative, etc.?
Okay, so we'll all get our chance to speak, and then we'll move on because we've been on this subject for very long. So we'll start off with Hubcap because I know you're like really anticipating this. So go ahead.
Yes.
And try to condense it if you can because we are like going kind of long here. So
okay. So basically, this is the problem I have about Spider-Man.
Sorry about that. I got a question.
What was it? Wait, go ahead. Reborn.
It's Y2. What's your question?
All right. What's the next topic?
The next topic.
We'll get to it.
There's one about Volition sinking.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we'll get to that. We'll get to that after we answer Neozo's question. So we'll get to that.
All right. So what I would do to improve it? Okay, this is what I wanted to. This is what I was complaining about.
All right.
One, there's no fucking like gadgets in the game. There's barely any gadgets. They skimmed on the gadgets. And number two, their suit powers. Suits are now cosmetics. They're no longer part in Spider-Man 1 when you got like certain outfits in the game, like Noir. If you got the Noir outfit, you get the Noir ability where everything goes black and white and you get super damage. That doesn't exist in Spider-Man 2. Now it's just a cosmetic, which is bullshit. How would I improve the story in Spider-Man 2? So basically, what I was just saying earlier, I would make Spider-Man lose his powers. I would make him lose his powers, lose his relationship with Mary Jane. Mary Jane goes out with either Harry or something. And I would make it so he finds the symbiote, and the symbiote is what gives them the power back, the web slinging and everything. And I would also add the Web of Shadows honor system. For instance, if you're a good guy as Spider-Man, you keep going, you have the suit on, you're the blue and red suit. You can be a good guy and you help out with the police and you do tag team attacks with the police, like I just said. You interact with the cops more and you're a good guy. But if you're the symbiote, right? You keep using the symbiote powers, you literally will have a meter on the bottom, Red Dead 2 style. If you're a symbiote and dishonorable spider, you do not talk to the police at all. You actually tell them to fuck off. And you tell them, I'm Spider-Man, because you have the symbiote in you. I'm Spider-Man. I'm better than you. You know what I mean? I'm stronger. I can do everything better than you. You know? It would make a lot more sense. He's an asshole to Mary Jane. And depending on what you do, Peter's appearance will change. He'll wear darker clothing. He'll get the Tobey Maguire hairstyle, where like the emo style. And I would also combine this story not only with the Raimi Spider-Man 2, I would combine it in the Raimi Spider-Man 3. I would also have a little bit of Web of Shadows and Big Time. If you guys ever read Big Time, I would definitely try to incorporate that.
I'm somewhat familiar with it, yeah.
Yeah, I would definitely try to incorporate that into Spider-Man 2. The Spider-Man 2 that we got is... Look, if you're going to recast someone... Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead, Y2. What you're saying is a mix of what?
Yeah, it's not like a mix. Yeah, it's not like the mix of Web of Shadows and Infamous.
I kind of feel that too.
Like that.
Yeah, that's what I wanted. I wanted
That's kind of what I feel like.
And there will be a lot more shit I would do to the game to add more detail. For instance, if you become more of a symbiote, first off, I would cut Miles from the entire game. I would just make him into a side character. That's it. That's what he is.
I think that's the best way to do. Yeah.
And what I would do is combine his story with Peter. I would focus entirely on Peter, and I would make it so he's struggling. There's no villain in the game. The villain is you. You're literally fighting yourself. And I would put little details. For instance, when you're a good guy, when you're the good old friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, your menu is very vibrant. Your menus are very vibrant. They pop out. The city is very vibrant looking, comic booky, MCU type looking city. But then when you're becoming the symbiote and you finally accepted that you're a bad guy, you're low honor, the menus are black, the city is just dark, everyone is posting pictures about you, J. Jonah Jameson is going crazy about you, you'll have an affection meter for Mary Jane that you have to keep an eye on. Mary Jane doesn't like you, but Gwen Stacy likes you. You see, I would make shit actually connect to the Spider-Man universe.
Crystal X said something that ties to your point. He says the cops actually shoot you when you are on the evil path.
Yes,
that would be interesting.
Yes, and
yeah.
Spider-Man will actually fight the police, and that's when he becomes consumed by Venom.
Yeah.
Yes, I would definitely have that. And then the Sinister Six will actually become the good guys, and they'll actually go against you.
So
you have a different ending.
See, that would be very ambitious, and that would require them to actually have brain cells. But we know that they don't have that. I kind of like your take on it. It's very interesting, and I think it does remind me of like other games with a morality system. I think that there's room for that idea with an original character too, where I always thought it would be cool if they made a game based on a vigilante where you're like kind of like maybe like a Batman type or Punisher, and depending on if you kill the criminals or not, or like what you do, the cops will like try to take you down too. So it changes to any. I've had similar ideas, but it could also work for this Spider-Man rewrite as well. So not a bad take.
My Spider-Man would just be very dark. Like if I was going to make a Spider-Man movie or game, I would just do what James Cameron was going to do. I would make Spider-Man very dark. I would make Mary Jane into a prostitute. I'm not even joking about that, or a stripper. And she works, she works for her money. Like that's how she gets money. I would make Peter Parker into this very lonesome teenager, but when he puts on the suit, there's a lot of hope into it. And I don't know why they couldn't incorporate a dark. I don't know why they're so scared to go dark with Spider-Man. I'm sorry if I'm yelling and everything. I am very passionate about this character. I'm so sick of this shit.
So to be honest, I kind of prefer Peter to be a little bit more lighthearted. I don't mind the story being darker, but I think he should be a little bit more lighthearted. But hold on. So because I want to go down the list. So that's an interesting take on it. Christian Fredes. What
Yep.
would you
What
What would
he's
you
about to
do?
get back.
What would you do to change the story or the narrative and to make it better?
Well, I made it on a YouTube post. It says no stealth missions. Make MJ beautiful. Make Peter competent, powerful, and less whiny. Eddie
Mhm.
would be Venom. Sable, Craven, and Black Cat would have their own gameplay segments. Spider Cop outfit, and remove annoying pandering that no one asked for.
Great take. I kind of agree with that. That's the least that they can do, especially the last part. Master, what would you do to make the game better if you could?
I think there's a few things like fix all the bugs. A lot similar to like Christian and that other guy. I would do mostly the similar things.
You're fading
And,
out. You sound staticky.
Oh yeah. I was also, and I think another thing with Spider-Man 2, I would fix is I don't know. I don't really have much to add.
Okay. Fair enough. Y2, how would you change the story? Or the gameplay, or how would you make the game better?
All right. To be honest with you, I would get rid of like. All right, this gonna be our true idea from Hubcap is a good idea, but I would like to add in like instead of like like as the Black Symbiote Spider-Man instead of like say like um like arresting criminals and stuff like that. I think he would like kill them instead.
Oh,
Or
okay.
give
That's
like
that's
like
edgy.
certain choices like like take down Craven or snap his neck or something like that. Stuff like that.
Gotcha.
Like it's going for like good morality or bad morality,
Mhm.
stuff like that. Um, yeah, but instead, instead of Miles, I would replace him with Spider Woman.
Okay.
As
Yeah.
like a side character.
Yeah, I mean that could be interesting too.
That's my take on it so far.
I
Revenant.
would make Black Cat a playable character instead of Miles.
That's a good idea too. That's way better. Revenant. I'm sorry. Y2, is that it? Is there anything else you can add?
This is something I want.
Brock
This is something
has
I
been
this is
in
something I
control.
would want to going
very-
based off my my thing. If you beat the game on spectacular mode, let's say you beat the game, let's say you unlock a new difficulty called Venom or Symbiote. When you beat the
Okay.
game on Symbiote difficulty, right? You
Mhm.
get a secret ending if you go all the way to Symbiote mode. If your honor is really low,
Mhm.
you get the entire Avenger. You get the whole Avengers against you, and you gotta try to beat them like in a boss rush. You gotta try to beat them 1-on-1. And you're so
Okay.
powerful at this section. You're literally so powerful. Like the symbiote would be so powerful it could take down everyone. You know what I mean?
If they could get the licenses to properly use them in a game, then that could be really cool. I think it's very ambitious for sure. So it could work. Revenant. So how would you change the story and the gameplay, or how would you make the game better?
God, I guess all the above what everyone else is saying, more or less. I know it's kind of generic, but it's kind of hard for me exactly to go into detail about it, like
Okay.
off the top of my head. But yeah, I think everyone like made a lot of good like points. Well, how to make it better, what they would prefer, because I think that's generally what everyone else would want for the game to be better.
Okay.
I just think that Insomniac, for whatever reason, they dropped the ball on this one, and they kind of, in some aspects, they did with the first game.
Yeah, they
depending
definitely
on,
did.
what it is, but definitely with the second one, and I'm sure with the third one, it's going to be even more egregious. So
Yeah. So that makes sense. I guess for me, how I would change the game. Well, the first thing that I would do is I would relegate Miles to a side character. Only because they already introduced him in the previous game, so it's kind of like too late to like really go.
I would cut him out.
Because like the fact that they introduced him in the first game
hello, Rev.
means that there's nothing that we can do. So I would just leave him on the back burner. Maybe he's doing his own thing throughout most of the game.
Or you can do this.
Hold on, because I want to finish what I'm saying. So I would also have it that Eddie Brock is introduced to the story, maybe as like a rival to him instead of being a co-photographer because of the direction they took with the current universe. I would probably make him like a scientist or something, somebody who's working on the symbiote, or a direct rival to Peter throughout the game.
The mediocrity of the game reminds me of how Strong Bad points out everything wrong with the genre. Then you take all the best story elements on the comics on some note cards, throw them up in the air, and make like 10 of them to paste willy-nilly with a paper-thin plot with more holes in it than Halle Berry's Catwoman costume.
Yes.
Yeah.
So also I would make it that so throughout the game he's struggling with Mary Jane, and eventually he gets the symbiote, and a lot of the story is that, you know, similar things like what everyone else said, he starts acting like an asshole, you know, the police could turn on him, you can have a morality meter and whatnot, but over the course of the game, like, he's starting to become like Eddie Brock is. You know, he's becoming more of like a dick, more selfish, more aggressive, more egregious. And eventually, you know, Spider-Man realizes what he's doing. He frees himself of the symbiote. You know, like, either they can go the comic route with the church or maybe by some other means. Eddie Brock gets the symbiote, and because he was already evil, like not evil, but, you know, already like a nasty person, it amplifies him. And now that he knows Peter's identity because of symbiote, he starts going after the people that he cares about. And not only does Peter have to mend his relationships, but he also has to stop Venom at the same time.
Genpachi, that's true. At least I like Eddie Brock from the Spider-Man 3.
If they do those two things, then the final confrontation is that Eddie is like the dark mirror to Peter, but he also has to make amends and protect the people who now hate him because of his actions. And maybe toward the end of the game, his reputation is so damaged that after stopping Venom, he has to rebuild his reputation. And you can either make that the end game where, you know, you can like go around the city, like solving minor crimes, getting people to like you again or whatever, like as like just a way to keep playing the game. But also now you can set up a sequel where the city doesn't trust him. So now he has to fight crime while avoiding like the cops and stuff like that until that also gets resolved. That's kind of how I would change the narrative.
You integrate Far From Home, where everyone knows about his identity and the whole thing is against them.
Well, I wouldn't have everyone know his identity. I'm talking about Spider-Man himself, that people look at Spider-Man as a threat, not Peter. No, I don't think that everyone in the city should find out that he's Peter. I'm talking about Spider-Man.
The way I would have done it too.
And also, there's one more thing I want to mention. So also, I would have it that like characters like Black Cat, if you're gonna have Kraven, make them playable. And maybe also show some backstory to like what Norman is doing to set up the Green Goblin over the course of the story and like the background. Maybe Norman looks at Peter as a threat, and he could see it as an opportunity to make himself seem like the good guy who takes down Spider-Man or something. Something interesting that combines more of the comics with the story of the game. You know, with the more of the comics with like a more original thing.
You got absolutely good take there,
Hubcap, can you slow down with the cocking of the gun, because it like bleeds too heavily on the mic.
I was putting my controller and shit away. Sorry about that.
Oh, okay, it's fine. It's just because it's like you can hear it a lot through the mic.
Oh, Genpachi, I was saying that's a good take, bro.
Real quick, I know a while ago, I don't know if I'm saying his name right, Dashi. How StreamYards works is that up until now it's like you can only have about like 6 people on. So I don't know if you're still watching, but if you want to try to come on, I can try to shuffle things around if I can. But just so you know, I wasn't purposely like
Does he want to join?
He's not. There he is. Okay. Who wants to bounce real quick, and I can bring you back on at some other point? Because the next thing is
Also, we should move on to the next subjects now.
Yeah.
Wait, hold on. Before we move on, just before the way, because I wanted to say this earlier, and I forgot to add it. The way how I would make Spider-Man like accept the symbiote, everything. I would just kill Miles Morales entirely. I would kill him right after the Sandman fight, because it would make more sense why Peter's more rootless and more aggressive in combat.
Okay. That's interesting. So what's the next subject, Revenant?
Hold on, real quick. Master Gaming. Do you have the link to the stream still? Like, do you have it saved or anything like that?
No, I don't.
All right. Or can you see the private chat?
Daichi.
Oh, that's what it says. Okay.
Yeah. So because we're already like almost.
Do you see the private chat? Because then I can just post the link there. Because I got to get Daichi in here real quick.
Yo, Revenant, what's going on?
Yo. So Revenant, we should it's already we're already 2 hours and 40 minutes in, so I think we need to hit the rest of the subjects. All
right.
I'm gonna just try to keep some control here, so everyone bear with me, but we gotta get through this.
Hold on. Master Gaming, just write in the private chat if you need the link again, because I gotta get Daichi in here real quick, because he's trying to get on before. So I'll post the link in the chat. All right.
Okay.
All right. So Volition.
What's that sound in the background? Sounds like someone shuffling around, doing the robot.
Shuffling around doing the robot.
Someone's playing the cowbell.
Oh god, that's an echo.
Hold on.
Yo.
I look to the echo. Yeah.
Hold on. I'm gonna leave. Send me.
Yeah. Just, damn, what the hell? What about now?
Hello? Hello, everyone.
I can still hear myself.
Hey, I was wondering about... I saw the live stream on StreamYards, and I felt like, hey, I want to talk with y'all.
Okay, cool. You got to using headphones or something?
No, I have, no headphones on me. It's...
I can hear myself like really loud.
Ooh.
And plus, I have like the fan if you want me to turn it off.
No, it's not the fan. It's just the fact that we can hear ourselves.
Yes.
Oh.
Yeah, there's a bad echo.
You have headphones or something?
Well, I got Bluetooth. Let me give him the Bluetooth headphones. Let me
Yeah, just put your Bluetooth on.
Who's got the waifu picture?
That's Daichi.
Daichi, you're out of control. You degenerate. Damn.
Oh, hold on.
So we're talking about Volition, right?
Yeah. What do you think really led to their downfall? Because
man,
I've seen some videos where people had said that what the fuck was it? Oh, hold on. Anyway, about that they were basically like defending it. Oh, it's not. It wasn't just. No, I'm sorry. They were saying that people were saying that it was the Saints Row 2022 that caused it, and then trying to excuse it that it's the Saudi Arabia deal and all that.
Hold on. Everyone, one at a time. So Reverend, finish what you were saying.
No, I was saying that people were like excusing it, like, it was the Saudi Arabia deal. It was Embracer Group's fault because they didn't manage things right, and blaming Deep Silver. And the way I look at it is like they did Saints Row 4. No one really wanted. They did which that was originally under THQ. And keep in mind they also did Saints Row 3, which the publisher was THQ. So was it THQ's fault then? But I don't think so. Then you had Gat Out of Hell. No one asked for that. And then you had Agents of Mayhem, where I think even some of the developers themselves wanted to make that game. So I don't think Deep Silver was pushing for it. And also Deep Silver, there was a YouTuber named Flippy or something like that.
Yeah, Flippy. Yeah.
He was saying that Deep Silver had to actually come in and help them fix the game, like finish the game and add more to it, because Volition was lying to them. Whoever was the head there, probably that the guy with the fat neck guy.
Fat neck.
Yeah. Where hold on. Where'd he go?
I think I know.
Anyway. Yeah. So.
Jim Bone, Chicken Bone.
Yeah, there you go. That him. Yeah. So.
All right. Yeah. So I'm sorry. Right.
My thing is like they kept like fucking up for years with each game, all these games. So I don't think it's like solely on Embracer or Deep Silver. I think it's more of like they eventually like lost what the purpose of like how to make good games and what people actually wanted.
They lost.
I think that's ultimately what. Yeah. Exactly.
All right. So Y2 Viral. You said you had something to say about it. So go ahead.
Yeah, I think the reason why it fell off because of two reasons. Because one, everybody kept saying the GTA clone and Volition probably got scared of being called that, so they have switched it to like obscure options. Like they went to like this whole cheap being a cheap knockoff to Call of Duty more Warfare. With the whole stag storyline and the third and whole alien invasion shit.
Gotcha.
The second one is letting SJWs work on the future games, and I think that what done it for I ain't gonna lie.
Okay.
I was playing
Give me 1 second. Reborn. Yeah, sorry about that. Well, Kat, we definitely could join the next stream. Thanks for coming on and talking with us and taking time out of your day. We appreciate it. But yeah, back to what you were saying, Y2.
I feel like I'm on fucking ham radio.
Yeah, I mean, there's obviously some kind of delay.
I think so. Yeah, it's probably StreamYard and stuff like that.
But
anyway,
the reason why they failed is just it's really one thing simply in that they didn't want to listen to their fans.
Yeah.
I mean, ultimately, you can say this, you can say that, but they didn't give people the games that they wanted, and even grew to be ashamed of it when SJWs came into the picture. So, when you look at it, they refused to give fans a true sequel to Saints Row 2 for so many years, and then when they finally were willing to like make another game, a modern game, they were even ashamed where they didn't like the gangster stuff, they didn't like the non-politically correct aspects of it, and they try to go the opposite direction. And I think that was the final nail in the coffin. I mean, imagine you're asking for something like Saints Row 2. You get like 4 other games and none of them play at all in any way or fashion like Saints Row 2, and then they reboot the series and then they go the opposite route even narratively. So now even the fun and the funniness and goofiness of 3 and 4 isn't even there anymore. Now you just have like this pathetic woke abomination shell of the game, and of course that's going to kill it. I mean, I'm surprised they're lucky that fans tolerated getting not getting what they wanted for so many years, and then you're going to go on top of that, you're going to take a series that was raunchy and funny and you're going to make it like a politically correct piece of crap. I mean, of course that's going to kill your company. Like, I don't understand how they thought it wouldn't.
Yeah, like
there's an echo again.
Oh god.
God damn it.
Wait, when do you guys want to hear my thoughts about it?
I want to give Daichi a chance to talk because he joined. He hasn't said much. So, what do you think?
Yeah. Give us your thoughts.
I think that Volition, honestly, is just a piece of shit now.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, that's why they're gone. So.
And the reason why their downfall is because of the woke shit. None of this would happen if they listened to their fans. If they listened to their fans, they would have still be thriving and also put GTA not to shame, but like make them like, oh, let's make GTA 6. But now GTA 6 is already there, but I get the feeling that's also going to be woke.
Yeah, I have a feeling.
Yeah, high possibility.
All those writers left and everything, and now you got these new writers. Yeah, it's like old Rockstar's done.
The same thing with Dustborn. I even saw that as like, I had Sunset Overdrive, and it looks like a little bit of Sunset Overdrive, but if it was woke.
Yeah, I mean that game is gonna fail.
Yeah.
Oh, and also one more
fail.
thing. It's the same guys that made Detroit Become Human.
That's
okay.
sad about
Aren't they the
it.
publisher?
Yeah, that's sad about it. Detroit Become Human was actually a good game.
I'm still in it.
Yeah, I mean you just can't go like 3 or 4 games and never give fans what they want, and then you come out with a woke reboot. Like, what do they think was gonna happen?
They're gonna trash it.
Yeah, so of course they had no chance.
But yeah, my honest opinion. I can hear myself.
Hold on, there's still an echo. Do you guys hear it?
Yeah.
I have my Bluetooth headphones on, but they're not connecting to the StreamYards. I even have it on. Like, I don't know why it's not connecting to this.
Yeah,
I even played a
bizarre.
YouTube video, and it works fine there. I don't know what's going on.
Just
StreamYard is kind of glitchy though.
Yeah, I have my Bluetooth headphones on. It's just like, what the fuck? Like,
well, you sound clear actually. You're the only one without an echo.
Well, because I was in my room, and plus, like, I had the fan on.
All right, so here's what you can do. When you gotta say something, you can have the mic on, but then if anyone talks, just have the mic on mute.
That's the thing I was planning to do. Have my mic on mute when someone talks. I don't want to interrupt them because I saw the stream and everyone was like talking too much. Where like I was gonna say, can anyone like let one person talk and let other one person talk? Because I felt like everyone was talking all over it to everyone.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, we gotta get better at that.
Yeah.
Well,
because
also it's just taking turns.
Yeah, sorry for interrupting you guys, but I was saying that people should take turns without interrupting anyone. Listen to their side of the story. Listen to theirs, what they have, their statements, and then that's it.
Yeah.
No, I agree.
All right. So, did everyone give their opinion on why they think it failed?
Hubcap and Christian didn't yet.
Well, I'm glad that I didn't waste my money with Saints Row 2022.
Yeah, they get that shit out for free, unironically, on PlayStation.
I wouldn't even play it for free, to be honest. So
you have to pay me.
Yeah, exactly.
I'll probably play it on stream just for shits and giggles, unironically. You know what I mean? For Revenant, and I'll just like make man, I was about to say the bad word. I was gonna make stupid characters. You know what I mean? And just like have fun, just like make fun of the game. That's what I was gonna do.
Well, one last thing I want to say about Volition. I don't feel bad for them because the talented artists and programmers, they're gonna find work elsewhere. They're 100% gonna be okay. So basically, like, I think Volition going down is a lesson to other companies, and hopefully they heed the warning of, if you don't give people what they want, if you don't listen to your fans, if you keep pushing things people don't like, such as woke trash, ESG bullshit, then your company will die and the fans will turn their back on you.
Yeah, because we're the boss. At the end of the day, we're the boss. Like, this is this is my opinion about the whole Saints Row thing. They just like what Cutthroat Ball has said. They had they had the ball right there. All they had to do was hit the tee. That's it. That's all they had to do was just hit the ball, and they fucked it up on a massive scale. I was even telling Revenant this, like, this is what Saints Row 2022 should have been. They should have gone with the hipster stuff, right? Like, kind of fool the player and be like, oh, it's a hipster game, win the first hour. But then something happens to the players. Something traumatic actually happens to the characters. And that's when the game turns into Saints Row 2.5. That's why I think it should have been. That's what I think they should have done. Or a Julius prequel or a Gat prequel where you play as Gat maybe through the events of maybe between Saints Row 1 and 2, and it has that same tone and that same customization, stuff like that. Just something, maybe a game that took place in between Saints Row 1 and 2, because you guys remember in Saints Row 2, the boss is actually in a coma. He got blown up and he got sent to prison. So I kind of want to see what happened in between 1 and 2. You know what I mean? Just like a little bridge game.
That could work. I think if they ever go a prequel route, they should have you playing as a created character that works with Julius or Gat, so you can still have the customization.
Yeah.
You know?
No, definitely,
so
yeah.
Basically, like, Julius has an agenda or whatever, and whatever he's trying to do, and you're playing as like a follower of his, and maybe the reason why that character isn't in the future Saints Row games is because he gets killed off or something at the end, or something like that. I think could work, because I think one of the key things about Saints Row is that it was like GTA in a way, but you could create your own character, and it was way more wacky and like fun. I think that's what made Saints Row 2 and 1 so fun, while 3 and 4 went way too far with the wackiness, and it almost it took away a lot of the freedom. Because even like the hand-to-hand combat and the combat in general just felt much more like linear and on rails, as opposed to Saints Row 2, where I felt like I could really do more or less whatever the hell I wanted to.
Yeah. Between 1 and 2 was 5 years. There you go, Emerald. You can make a game out of that. There you go. There's material. You can find out how the Ultor building was made, why is Julius a dick? Why is everything the way it is in Saints Row 2? I would buy it. I would play it. I wouldn't have it keep it the same tone, keep it the same raunchy tone that the original first 2 games had. That gangster tone to it. You know what I mean? Just Saints Row 2 with better graphics, with modern day graphics. That's all you got to do. I mean, look what Metal Gear Solid 3 is doing. You know, it's just the same game, but with MGS5 stuff in it. That's all you could have did, really. I mean, shit. No one would complain, and just call it Saints Row. I don't know, like call it something cool, like, I don't know, Saints Row Ultor or something. You know what I mean? Like, just call it something really cool, and people would be like, oh shit, it's a game between 1 and 2. And then remaster 1 and 2, or remake 2. I mean, hell, you're going to be using the same map anyways. You're going to make this new game, use the same map anyways. You might as well just remake 2.
Well, I want to say a couple things, actually. So first off, I want to read Emerald Taurus's comment. Also, most of the talent was laid off after Agents of Mayhem. I'm not surprised there. I think that's reflective of the Saints Row reboot. You can definitely see that the talent isn't there. So I wouldn't be surprised if that's true. And as far as you were saying about Ultor, it would have been interesting to have you play. Maybe you play as an Ultor executive who's a former gang member, and you're actually fighting off you're like fighting off the gangs as like an undercover Ultor agent. So you're still getting like Saints Row 2 gang warfare, but your character's really a traitor the whole time, and it would explain why Ultor took over so much of the city, because you were eliminating smaller gangs with like almost like a planted gang by Ultor run by your new created character or something like that. I mean, there's so many routes they could have went with the story, and I think that it's one of those things that we all just have to like let go of and understand that it had a moment where it was shining and it's just degenerated, and we have to just accept that it died. and it's better that it's dead, actually.
Yeah, play as Dex something like just like what Emerald said. Play as Dex or something. I mean, look, just like what Y2 said. They didn't want the backlash from being called a GTA clone. Volition's been making clones for years, baby. Let me tell you this. Okay, does anybody remember Red Faction? And how people were saying it's a copy of Half-Life and Halo?
Well, Red Faction Guerrilla was a really good game. I really enjoyed that game.
Well, Guerrilla was like more of the open world one. I'm talking about the first two on PS2. I
played them.
They were just like Half-Life and Halo combined, and no one complained about that. Well, I remember there was a few people that said like, "Oh, it's just a Halo Half-Life copy," and then look at Saints Row, it's a GTA copy. What's next?
Well, Saints Row 2 is actually it takes a lot of gameplay elements from Punisher. Believe it or not, the gameplay in the Punisher on PS2 feels a lot like Saints Row 2. But let's
animations, yeah.
Like especially the throw animation. But let's give other people a chance to speak because we've been going on and on. So anybody else want to chime in their thoughts before we move on?
About the whole thing about I remember they were talking about the name of the reboot. They could have just called it the Return of the Saints, or let's say Saints. Let's say I don't know, but the Return of the Saints could have been a better name.
Reborn,
or Saints Row Reborn, or Saints Row Back to the Action.
Back to the Streets.
Yeah.
Could have called it that.
Daichi, this is neither here nor there. What is your avatar of?
It's just a random anime girl. What you thought? You thought it was some like different? Oh,
I thought it was an actual character.
No, it's just some random anime girl that an artist drew.
Huh.
Okay.
Or basically an OC.
Okay. Cool. I was just curious. It looks familiar. But different.
From Inuyasha or something.
I was about to say Inuyasha, yeah.
Oh yeah, it looks like Kagome.
Mm-hmm.
But if she was like a tough schoolgirl punk.
All right, so let's move on to the next subject.
Okay, to speed things up. Is there a game that you would like to see remastered or remade? And quickly go by the best way as possible. Let's just stick to one game each.
Also, the echo is back.
The game I would love to see remastered or remade would probably be Scarface.
That was a pretty good game.
Yeah, that's actually a good choice.
There was a second game of it.
I thought they were going to make it.
There were even footage of it, but it was canceled.
Viva Las Vegas, right?
Yeah.
It's called Scarface Viva Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw some gameplay. It was on the 360, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Me personally, I would want them to remake Siphon Filter.
There we go.
I think that would be beautiful. Next gen graphics. Put some crazy CQC.
Oh, the echo was back.
Yeah, it would be epic.
I went to the settings and went to audio, and then I saw echo.
Wait, hello?
Okay, it's good.
And he's gone.
I mean, yeah, he can come back. I'll bring him back in.
Yeah, for
the
sure.
Godfather
You can kind of like
the Godfather games are good.
work the audio out.
Yeah, I really think though I think that a Siphon Filter remake would be amazing. I just don't think that I don't trust any developer anymore. I just can't trust any AAA game, sadly. So even though I think they should bring it back and it'd be cool, like I'm 90% sure that somehow they'll make it into some like political bullshit.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Ben Studio was pretty good with Days Gone. They can get the gameplay from that game and just easily make it from Yeah,
Well,
so they
I'm
can.
talking about narrative though. I'm talking specifically narrative. Like I'm sure the gameplay could be really good. I just mean like the narrative. Like, are they gonna put like bullshit into the plot, pandering into the plot and whatnot? And you know what's funny? They wouldn't even have to because Saints Row one. I'm not Saints Row. Sorry, Splinter Cell 1 through 3. Not Splinter Cell. What the hell's wrong with me? Siphon Filter. Jeez, you know what? Whatever. But Siphon Filter 1 through 3 had a lot of inclusive characters and stuff, so they wouldn't even have to do that. You know, if they did, it would be like excessive.
They gotta get the old actor back though for the voice.
Yeah.
They would have to get the old actor back.
I mean, the third game had you play. I think the second game had you play as like an African American character. Maybe the third one, and then you have Leon, who's a Chinese female lead character as well. So there's no reason to make SJW propaganda, and I just feel like despite the game being pretty well rounded in that regard, I still think that they would feel like, well, it's not enough. We got to add more stuff or something like that, and compromise the game as a whole. Which is why I'm worried about the Metal Gear remake, because I have a feeling that Konami is going to do something really stupid to some of the characters, especially like Eva.
Oh no, they confirmed it's not being touched at all. Like they actually said like it's not going to be touched one bit. The only thing they're touching on is like the gameplay and the graphics. That's it.
Well, I saw a thing where they said that they're gonna just touch on some things that were like not made for like a modern audience or something. I think Revenant. Remember what it was verbatim? I don't actually remember exactly.
They meant like gameplay. They meant
no, but they said like specifically the thing I saw was like that they're just editing some things that were not made for like a modern time. But like time will tell. I just don't have strong faith in them because I find like a character like Eva, specifically, I don't know how they're gonna handle that character, and especially since it's Konami, and Konami are like basically like as greedy as it gets. I wouldn't be surprised if they do some wacky things to her character.
Oh,
I know the boss.
They let Quiet. They let Quiet from Metal Gear Solid 5 go. So
that was like 2015. So
yeah,
things are a lot different now, though. So I'm not saying that it's automatically going to be that. I'm going to have my guard up until I see it. I know the boss. They're not going to change too much because the boss is pretty much like everything that they would want in a female character. Ironically, so I mean it's kind of funny, but I really think that Eva is gonna go through some pretty crazy changes. Like, I mean, to be frank, like she's pretty slutty. I hate to say it, but she really is. She uses her femininity to like take advantage. She gets abused by Volgin. Like, it's just so many. There's so many things about Metal Gear 3 that specifically involving her character that I just feel like modern audiences are gonna try to change and justify them as changes for modern audiences. But again, that's speculation. I don't actually know, and I do hope they do keep it consistent with the original game.
I 100% agree. Even though I like the Metal Gear Master Collection, I do like having 1, 2, and 3. And I just really want to play these games really badly. I will admit that the remaster for these games were fucking horrible. Like the fact that, just like I said in the beginning, the fact that there's no option to change the resolution for Metal Gear Solid 1, and there's no actual, like, there's button remapping, but you can only change the face buttons. This means you can't have shoot and aim with L2, R2, or, item select with L1, R1, like, what I would want the game to be. You can't add phantom pain controls at all. Like, that was really disappointing. Konami should have did a little more. You could add button mapping via the PS5 settings.
Thank you.
Yeah. One second.
I appreciate you coming by, and hopefully you enjoyed the stream, and take it easy.
Yeah, take it easy. Take it easy, man. Always good to have you, and you added some great questions that kept things interesting. So we always appreciate you, man. I was waiting for a hubcap to finish, but it's a good thing he stopped because this guy's got to go. But yeah, we appreciate you here, man. No offense, it's just
he's a good go. I want to address it before he actually left.
See you later.
Anyway.
But yeah, I kind of to your point, hubcap. Like, I think that Metal Gear 1, 2, and 3. Yeah, Gesundheit. But Metal Gear 1, 2, and 3. I'm glad that they're gonna do another remaster, as far as I know. Correct? So
with Delta. Delta is like bombing basically.
So I'm kind of happy that they're doing it, And like I said, I'm hungry to play through those games again because I do want to stream them and do videos of them. So hopefully that they're good. But I'm just gonna keep my guard up because it is Konami after all. So as of now, like I'll keep an eye on it, but we'll see how that goes. But anyone else wanna talk? Christian? Anyone else wanna give their opinions?
Is there a game that you would like to see like remastered or remade?
Well, for when it comes to underrated games, remastered, I was just thinking of one like, well, one of them is Metal Gear Rising: Revengeance.
Yeah, that's already confirmed.
Really?
That's already been confirmed. Yeah, that's in the files for the Master Collection. So
another one for me is Arkham Origins.
That's been the talks recently.
Oh yeah, Arkham Origins.
Yeah.
I would love Arkham Origins to be like remastered and like even retextured a bit. Like even if they can like entirely redo some textures, that'd be incredible.
Mm-hmm.
And for a third 2013 game, God of War Ascension, I thought it was good.
Yeah,
I did too. Ascension's pretty good. I mean, the plot is a little contrived. It's like a little too convenient, but aside from that, it is pretty good. Christian, those are actually some really great games that should come back. That was a pretty good trio of games, man.
I would also add in Azura's Wrath.
That's a good one too. Yeah,
that's good. Yeah,
that's what I would say.
Made me want to. Final Fantasy 16 made me want that game back.
Yeah, that game is like really underrated and should get remastered or at least ported over something.
Relevant Leak says modern audience is a crime due to destroy everything where you pander too much for people who don't care about the product and if those people are out of touch.
Yes.
Yeah.
As if those people are out of touch. Yeah, I mean, I agree. Like it's injecting poison into your own creation, literally. To quote Vince McMahon, that's literally what it is. So you're giving a lethal injection to something that was once good.
Yeah. As for me, I would say like a game I would like to. I don't really want to see a remake. I don't trust it necessarily. But I would say as far as like a remaster, Shadow Hearts would be good. I think that'd be a good one.
Ooh, a trilogy? Shadow Hearts trilogy?
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Another one, God Hand. I always wanted to play that, but copies online are like for insane prices.
That's good.
I'm not surprised. Revenant with those RPGs, I'm not shocked. I expect nothing less from this man.
We need remaster of Rumble Roses.
That's like I haven't heard that name in a long time.
So
yeah, I mean that's kind of like
how about the bouncer?
Christian Frady's mentioned Asura's Wrath, which was a great one. I was actually thinking that too.
Honestly, he got me with Metal Gear Rising because I love that game. That's and Arkham Origins. Oh my goodness, they've got to come back.
Lords of Shadow 1 and 2.
Oh yeah, those are good too.
Those are two good ones.
And I have some good news about the Lollipop Chainsaw remaster. The developer is not even censoring Juliet Starling's outfits. None.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. That's good news.
People like that. I don't know his name, but
Suda 51.
That's
the developer.
Oh, that's them. Okay.
Yeah, that's the developers.
I didn't know
and they're known for that kind of content. So I'm glad that they're like not backing down. Well, let's get someone else
to actually like stand up and say like, no, we're not going to censor anything. Oh, another remaster would be Killer is Dead, but
Killer is Dead is pretty cool too.
I brought Master Gaming back in. I don't know if you can hear.
Yeah. I want to hear some other opinions because there's two other people. Well, we all gave our opinion, but what about Master of Gaming?
Okay, he's back.
I want a remaster of Simpsons Hit and Run.
Oh, I was about to say that.
That's a great one. Yeah.
Oh man! And imagine what they could do with cell shading now if they really wanted to go all out with the look. They could probably make it even more true to the series with better technology.
Like the movie, yeah.
Yeah, that would be sick, man. That's actually like, that's something that they should probably get on. It probably wouldn't be that hard. They already have the code, and with a new fresh skin of paint, I think it could work.
I
There's
agree.
a few other games I wanted to be remastered or remade. I forgot to name them too, if that's okay.
Emerald Torres says Def Jam Fight for New York remake would be cool. I agree. I love that game.
Yeah, that's a good game.
Yeah. I think the problem will be
also
getting the
want-
license for the artists, because a lot of the artists, I don't think they're under Def Jam Records anymore.
Yeah.
So that might be the challenge there.
Mhm.
No one talks about this game anymore, and there's another game. There's a second game that I know for a fact y'all would want. The game I was going to talk about was Steambot Chronicles. We have never ever heard about this game after the PS2 release. I hope it comes back. That was such a great game. And then the second one will be an RE engine, not Dino Crisis, an Resident Evil, the new engine, a remake, RE4, RE2 style, Dead Rising. I would want a Dead Rising remake
That's a
with
good
the
one.
same actors. Fucking just man, RE engine, Dead Rising.
That could be cool. That could be cool. I mean, that Dino Crisis idea isn't bad either. I'll take Dino
Mhm.
Crisis as well.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I'll
that's
take Dino
good, man.
Crisis too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or Onimusha. That's a good one.
Onimusha's sick. Especially the second game. I would love to see how that game could look with, like, remade. I know they would remake the first one first, but I would love to see how they would remake the second one, considering like some of the stuff going on in that game. It would look pretty like cinematic, I feel like.
Shit.
Relevant Leak
Sorry about
says
that. My
Relevant Leaks says, imagine everything is offensive
Like,
when in
for the
reality
past
these
few
woke people don't understand common sense. So it makes you wonder, how do these people keep rising and all of us are in a cringe and corrupt time? Yeah, I agree. I don't know how they're getting jobs. These things ain't making money, and yet even like, politically we see all the corruption and cringe going on. I just don't get it,
Oh, hold on. I'm sorry. Master Game, I'm sorry. I didn't let you finish about the remasters you wanted to see. I know you had mentioned one, but I'm sure you had more, so I apologize for that.
Two more I want to see is Dementium 2 remastered and Shadow of Rome.
Yeah, sure.
Dementium 2, wasn't that on DS?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a cool game. I kind of wish that series grew larger, because I really had fun with that game. It was legitimately scary. I think I still have the game lying around somewhere too.
American Wasteland was good, Emerald. That was such a good game. That was the best Tony Hawk game in my opinion.
And Daichi, if you're still watching, if you want to come back, since this is like the last topic, any remasters or remakes you're interested in. So if you want to come back and
okay, this is the final topic. All right, that's good, because I think we're like, the stream we're nearing the end. It's been over 3 hours, so I think it's time to this might be time to bring it home.
Yeah. So I'm gonna see if he comes back. I'll give him like a few minutes, and if he doesn't, obviously, he's more than welcome to come to the next podcast whenever that happens. But
I want to know what the bouncer will look like in new graphics. That's a great game.
Ass.
I like the bouncer. What?
I didn't
liked
like
that game as a kid.
I wanted to like it.
Maybe my opinion will change if I play it now, but I liked that game when I was a kid. The bouncer.
Yeah, the bouncer is pretty fun. I mean, it's okay. It's okay. I mean, you know what it is? A lot of games we like, sometimes we go back to them and they don't feel quite right. I think we had like our imagination goggles were strong. Like I remember I used to play Dead to Rights 2 and 1. And as much as I love those games, I went back to play them later and they felt way different than I remember them as.
So, bye guys.
See you, Christian. Thanks for coming on.
Later,
always appreciate you.
Later, Christian. Thanks for coming by. Master Gaming
also,
said he has to go too, so
one last thing.
peace out, Master Gaming. Thank you for coming.
One last thing before I go, Genpachi, you can play Dementium Award on Nintendo Switch.
Oh shit! Is it upscaled? Like, is it like a pseudo remaster, or is it just like a port?
A pseudo remaster.
Oh, that's sick! I might get it. I do have a Switch. I might actually look into that.
Okay, bye.
That's it. All right, man.
Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for stopping by. Appreciate you. You're always welcome, man.
Yeah. I'm still waiting if Daichi wants to come back.
So what's the next topic?
That's all of them.
It.
Oh,
I kind of combined the other. Yeah. So.
We've been talking for quite a while. I think it's about time. I mean, I would argue the stream went on a little too long, but it's cool.
We kind of rambled on a long time with the Spider-Man part and just got all over the place. So.
Well, there was a lot to talk about with that game. I think for the next stream it'll be even more streamlined. This one was definitely more streamlined than the first one. So the next stream we're gonna be a little more streamlined. I think it's true that things we're gonna have to we're gonna make some changes, but I'm sure me and Revenant will alert everybody to what they'll be and like the how we're gonna reformat things to be a little smoother. Yeah, but I mean, I don't mind.
We'll learn.
It's a good dialogue, but we have to there'll be a few changes to streamline things a bit.
Yeah, and make sure everyone doesn't talk over anyone. I mean, we're all doing that, so it's not like one person is doing it. So we'll try to get better over time.
Hey,
so,
I was the one saying let people speak, man. Don't forget that.
You were.
But all right, I mean, Daichi. I mean, he could come in for the next one. I think you should end it here.
Yeah.
Because
I did want to mention something before we end this. Did y'all see that? The chat and everyone see that that Five Nights at Freddy's movie?
No.
Oh man, please don't watch this movie. It was bad. It was a bad movie.
Yep.
Wait, hello?
Yeah, y'all.
I'm sorry. Yeah, Jinpachi dropped out by I think something happened. StreamYards or something. Anyway, let's wrap this up. You guys want to promote your channel or something? Where to find it? Where to find you and all that before we head out? Oh, here he is.
Well, hold on. Did we went through the TNA thing or
We kind of I was trying to get you to give your opinion on it earlier. Do you want to just quickly give your thoughts on it real quick?
Sure. Yeah. All right. Here's my thing about the whole TNA. Going back to TNA thing. I don't think it's going to help them by the long run. They still won't be feeling it's a if they switch back to the TNA name, all they ever gonna do is just ruin that brand as well because TNA is already dead back in 2013 with all this shit going on, all that stuff. So, and besides, they ain't got no stuff on there anymore. So I don't think like bringing that name back alive is a good thing. It's a good time right now. Or ever,
it's not going to save them. It's not going to save them. They're a walking corpse now.
Yep.
Emerald Torres. Thanks for coming. Thanks for joining us. Thanks for watching. We always appreciate you. You always make great comments, and we hope to see you in the next one, man. You're the man. You're awesome.
And when this week, thank you.
Yeah. So.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Wait, you want to plug in your channels or anything like that, or
Well, I do animation, art, gaming. Anyone could check me out if they're interested. If not, it's cool too. But I'd appreciate it. Help support like non-woke creators such as myself and others. It means a lot to us, smaller indie creators. So check it out. Jinpachi upload a lot of gameplay, animation, etc.
I'd make the.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry about that. It was delayed. Sorry about that. Wait, hello?
You might be having a delay in the stream.
I think there's a heavy delay, but let's wrap things up. So Hubcap, you have an outro before we go. Let's close things out because we've been doing it's been going on too long.
Subscribe to my channel. I'm possibly the worst creator of on YouTube. I'm not gonna say that, but I do funny videos. Pretty much anything goes. I make really offensive jokes too. But make sure to subscribe to. But for real, if you guys want to check out my channel, it's up to you. I prefer Revenant's channel. Revenant's channel is just way better than mine's. It does better content.
Thank you.
And I want to thank you for having me on the podcast. Really, I do.
No,
I
you're welcome.
really appreciate it, man, for having me on here, and I hope I can, make it for the next one. But this was pretty good. I enjoyed it, guys.
No, I'm
All right.
Thank you for coming
So,
by.
so sounds good. So,
real
all
quick,
right.
since he's not here, check out Y2 Varro's channel as well.
Mhm,
So, if you're interested in his content, check it out. But anyway, guys, thank you so much for coming by. Everyone who joined this, the panel on the podcast, everyone who commented, and we'll try to get better next time. It doesn't go on too long, and so we don't talk over each other and all that. So we'll definitely try to
Oh, don't
improve it as we
worry.
go.
I'm rubbing my hands. I'm rubbing my hands together. I'm gonna take care of this one. Don't worry, guys. Y'all see. But all right. So, thanks for coming on, and we'll catch you later.
And then
Peace.
next time we're gonna be screaming at each other. We're gonna be cursing at each other, guys. A lot of racism is gonna happen next stream. I'm just joking. I'm playing.
All right.
All right.
So, peace.
See ya.